Apocalypse ruined plants vs. zombies. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 100. Kill me. The one who instigated Xiao Hong to defect, held Su Yue hostage, and finally chose to work with Lu Fiang to trick Su Lin. Xiao Wang. Su Lin yawned and came to Xiao Wang, who had already lost his face due to fear. Su Lin squatted down slowly and chatted with Xiao Wang slowly in an old friend tone. By the way, have you ever thought about this ending? Or, in your expectation, what kind of script will it be later? Tell me, if I'm satisfied, maybe I can spare your life. Su Lin looked at Xiao Wang with a smile. But Xiao Wang couldn't say a word for a long time. Su Lin frowned and pulled him up, but he also smelled a foul smell. It turned out that he had been scared to pee. It seems that he had fainted. Su Lin immediately slapped him. Ouch. Still not awake. Then come again. Slap, 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 slap several times. After Xiao Wang's face was slapped red, Xiao Wang finally slowly opened his eyes. Su Lin, are you dead too? Ha ha ha. That's great. You big-headed ghost, I'm not dead yet, but you are almost dead. Tell me. Then, Su Lin asked the question again. Xiao Wang was stunned for a moment. He glanced at the three people not far away. Are they dead? Dead. I think so. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care too much. Are you worried about the death of ants? Oh, me. Xiao Wang trembled. For a moment. He didn't know if he could survive. If Su Lin said so, or even if he survived like this, he would lose 2 arms, and the army would be wiped out. Which organization would take in a waste like him? Maybe Xiao Wang just answered Su Lin's question honestly, in order to get a better relief. I thought. Xiao Wang twitched his mouth. At first I thought, if I joined the army would naturally find a way to defeat you. As a meritorious official, I will naturally receive a large amount of material rewards. At least I believe in the government, the army, and they can protect my relatives and friends, so that we will not be displaced again. But I also understand how powerful you are, so I thought of using Su Yue to make you admit defeat and surrender. But, I still overlooked it. Obviously, I have seen your freezing magic, but I forgot to kill me. Give me a quick death. Su Lin sneered. Am I starving you? Are you thirsty? Do you know that the pigsty life you think of is what many displaced people outside dream of? Look at those soldiers in the distance. In fact, if I had distributed the food earlier, it would have been enough for them to rebel. But I won't. I just want to teach them a lesson and let them know the consequences of going against me. Wake up, Xiao Wang. The world outside is no longer the same as before. Can't you stay here and enjoy the good life? Why do you have to make such a fuss? Su Lin shook his head. There was a little regret on his face. After a few days of getting along, although he was not familiar with Xiao Wang and Xiao Hong, they lived under the same roof after all. There was still a little bit of affection. So, Su Lin hated them so much. So furious. He wanted to cut them into pieces. And, do you know why I made it clear at the beginning that people who move into the manor must get my consent? Listening to Su Lin's words. In addition, Xiao Wang had already failed. He also had a regretful look on his face. But Su Lin's words brought his thoughts back to reality, back to the extremely painful reality now. I don't know. Xiao Wang shook his head like a child who had done something wrong. And Su Lin sneered in response. Because it's hard to manage a lot of people, and what I'm most worried about is the appearance of people like you, so you understand? In order to prevent a rat's shit from spoiling a bowl of porridge, I decided to keep all rats out, whether they are rats or not. Although there is another reason, because of the existence of brilliant light. Once the number of people accepted exceeds a certain number, the sunshine points will start to be deducted. For Su Lin and the entire farm, the sunshine points are the most important thing. They must not be reduced. So at the beginning, Su Lin extremely suppressed the number of people accommodated. Of course, brilliant light is one thing. From the beginning to the end, it has never been full. The most important thing is to prevent insiders like Xiao Wang and Xiao Hong. After hearing Su Lin's explanation, Xiao Wang was stunned. He really didn't think of such a possibility. And now, after everything has settled down, he can finally think calmly from Su Lin's perspective. Indeed, if it were Xiao Wang himself, in order to prevent the situation of insiders, personnel control is indeed necessary. Thinking of this, Xiao Wang shed tears. Not because of fear, nor because of anger at the impending death, but because of deep regret. He looked in the direction of the manor. He fell into memories. He fell into the memories of having enough food and drink, and having fun and laughing. He regretted it. But it was too late. Su Lin sneered. Regret it? Can you forgive me? What do you think? Can you give me a quick death? The tragic experience of Lu Fiying and others brought an indelible shadow to Xiao Wang. I'm sorry. Su Lin sighed, raised his head, and looked into the distance. He had an inexplicable feeling. That is, it seemed that someone was monitoring this place in some direction. It was not there at the beginning. It was when the army used heavy weapons that he had this feeling. He didn't know who the other party was, nor did he know what his intention was. This feeling was a bit uncomfortable. First of all, Xiao Wang asked for it. Secondly, Su Lin's next move was also to give a warning to the person who was secretly monitoring him. Don't be reborn as a human in your next life. The world is not worth it. After saying that, Su Lin squatted down and picked up the military knife in his hand. You should have used this hand to hold the knife against Su Yue's neck, right? Or should I say, this finger? With a wave of his hand, Su Lin chopped off Xiao Wang's left index finger. The second knife was followed by a fierce scream. The third knife. The fourth knife. The fifth knife. Just like that, Su Lin directly cut off all the fingers on Xiao Wang's left hand. Su Lin, kill me, please. Chapter 101 Being Surveilled. Xiao Wang, whose face was pale with extreme pain, only wanted to die at this moment. He wanted to end this inhumane torture as soon as possible. But how could Su Lin get around him so easily? It was impossible. Oh, Su Lin raised his eyebrows and showed a devilish smile. I seem to have remembered it wrong. You are not left-handed, so you naturally use your right hand to hold the knife. Ha ha ha. Sorry, I made you suffer. Su Lin. Xiao Wang twitched his mouth. Kill me, please. Otherwise, I will not let you go, even if I become a ghost. It's okay, that Lu Fiying said the same thing just now. You too, you really have no new ideas. If it's like this, why did you do this in the first place? You asked for it. For Xiao Wang. Su Lin's plain voice was like a devilish hum. It was really difficult for him to equate the cruel Su Lin in front of him with the gentle Su Lin before. It was simply a split personality. Su Lin showed a ferocious smile and continued to use the military knife. He cut off Xiao Wang's right hand fingers one by one. It was impossible to escape. Su Lin was able to suffocate Xiao Wang with all his strength. The extremely sharp military knife was blunted a lot, and it squeaked when it was cut on the bones, accompanied by a weak wail. Perhaps it was too much blood loss, or it could be that he died of pain. In short, Xiao Wang had no life at all. Died like this? Su Lin looked at Xiao Wang's body with a sneer. Fortunately my sister is fine, otherwise. Don't think you can die so easily. Su Lin stood up, stepped on Xiao Wang's palm with one foot, and spat viciously. Then he looked behind him. Those soldiers who ran to a distant place to eat a full meal had already returned. Seeing the scene in front of them, they were extremely grateful for two things. First, it was a good thing that they didn't eat here. With such a cruel scene, they would have vomited if they had eaten. Second, it was fortunate that they surrendered directly, otherwise many soldiers would have started to retch. If the food hadn't been hard to come by, they probably wouldn't have done such a disgusting thing, swallowing the vomit in their throats. Okay, let's clean up the battlefield, and then I'll go prepare the remaining supplies. Wait. Su Lin, said a soldier in the lead timidly, can I? No. Su Lin said coldly, I know what you want to do. But I'm sorry, my capacity here is limited, and I can't accommodate too many people. You saw what happened just now, and I still have a shadow in my heart. Before he finished speaking, Su Lin directly refused. The soldiers had no choice but to shake their heads helplessly, feeling helpless. After sighing, they also began to do the dirty work. clean up the corpses and armored weapon wreckage one by one. Su Lin cast his gaze into the distance. The feeling of being monitored disappeared in an instant. Strange. This feeling doesn't seem like someone is watching nearby, but more like surveillance. Sky surveillance? If it's not done by human power, then it can only be a superpower. He raised his eyebrows. Su Lin, who had no clue for the time being, shook his head and walked towards the manor. And in the distance, unknown to him, in a cave base, there were 5 people sitting around a table. On the table, there was a holographic projection screen, and the content on it was Su Lin. It was these people who were monitoring Su Lin from a distance in some way. This manor is a bit strange. Yeah, those plants are really strange, and have all kinds of attack methods. If a few of us go up, will we have a chance of winning? It's hard to say. I'm afraid we have to continue to increase our manpower. That's easy to say. It's like there are people with special abilities all over the street. If we weren't friends and lucky enough to become people with special abilities, we wouldn't be able to work together. It turns out that these people are all people with special abilities. If Su Lin were here, he would definitely be surprised to drop his jaw. The probability of gene mutation is terribly low. This is great. 5 of them were killed right away. That's fine. Gene mutation and special abilities naturally make people with special abilities arrogant and look down on each other as if they are the only ones in the world. These people are all friends, so unity and cooperation have become a matter of course. What a lucky guy. It's hard to say. Now, we have met Yan Wu. Heh, it makes me angry when I talk about Yan Wu. He is a complete idiot. He just set off a fire and is so self-righteous. Yeah, but the information he revealed is indeed very important. Yeah, indeed. I didn't expect that there is such an interesting place in Chunfeng City. If I'm not mistaken, the plants planted by this Su Lin can be eaten and used to defend the homeland. Then what do you say? With our current strength, we will attack. Why don't you think about negotiating a cooperation with us? Otherwise, you can seek asylum. We are 5 superpowers, such a powerful combination. How can he not be tempted? Let's talk about it later. Let's recruit soldiers first. Yeah, Aegean, can you prepare some food? The person called Aegean is a young man in his 20s with a short haircut. From beginning to end, he didn't say a word and was very silent. The others also understood his character and didn't pester him to speak. Yeah. After a slight nod, Aegean snapped his fingers and delicious food appeared on the table. At the same time, Aegean's face became haggard. Perhaps this was the price of activating his superpower. Okay, let's eat first. With Aegean's superpower, we won't starve to death. At the same time, we also have the ability to continue to survive in such a doomsday and even conquer a new world. Cheers. As for Su Lin, the effect of the big clock disappeared a long time ago. But it doesn't matter anymore. The enemy has been defeated, and the rest is the finishing work. When he walked into the manor, Su Yue rushed up impatiently. He hugged Su Lin tightly. Brother, it's okay. It's okay. Su Lin rubbed Su Yue's hair in his arms. Brother is here. Brother scared me to death. It's okay. Brother is here. How can you be in trouble? Su Lin said in an extremely gentle tone. Yeah. Brother, you're not hurt, right? It's okay. How could that be? Don't worry. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Xiao Wang and the other 2, although she didn't know how Su Lin would deal with the 2, Su Yue had a vague answer in her heart. Don't worry about it. Su Lin said coldly. Yeah. Su Yue nodded and said nothing more. The rest of the partners were all waiting for Su Lin at the gate. Director Liu was looking at Su Lin with a guilty look. It seemed that he was afraid to look him in the eye. Chapter 102, Epilogue. Seeing this, Su Yue quickly pulled Su Lin's hand and whispered, just now, all of us were watching you on the first floor, and our attention was all on you, and then you were ambushed, and you were tied up with ropes. Yeah, it's okay, I know. Su Lin smiled. He also guessed what means Xiao Wang and the others must have taken to deal with Director Liu. Then, Su Lin cast a trusting look at Director Liu. Okay, let's go in and talk. The living room on the first floor. Su Lin looked at the people in front of him. Director Liu, Zhang Jiajia, Su Yue, Lin Xiaoyan. I didn't expect that 2 people were missing all of a sudden. Huh. First of all, Director Liu. Su Lin looked at Director Liu. Don't feel guilty, that was their choice, and all I can say is that they are dead. Then, Su Lin looked at the others. I hope you can understand why I have been suppressing the people I accept. The human heart is the most difficult thing in the world to guess, isn't it? Now that this situation has happened, I'm actually also responsible. Hey, sit down, Director Liu. Su Lin interrupted Director Liu, who was about to say something. He was blocked by one sentence. You don't want this to happen, but it happened. Just pay more attention in the future. So, I still mean that. Please understand that I have the final say on what kind of people can live in. If you find any other way out, or if you want to do something, then go ahead and do it. If you can, I will support you. Okay, don't think too much, just go about your business. After that, Su Lin stood up and prepared to pack up the supplies promised to the soldiers. Food and the like, just extracted directly after planting plants. It's like a perpetual motion machine. There is no need to worry about it being eaten up one day. Several people also dispersed. Just as Su Lin started to pack up his supplies, Director Liu quietly came up to him. Didn't I tell you not to take it to heart? It's not your fault after all. Su Lin rolled his eyes. Director Liu was stunned. Because of shame, he subconsciously tiptoed and walked over slowly. But he didn't expect to be discovered by Su Lin. His sharpness was beyond Director Liu's expectations. Well, after all, I brought them here. Speaking of these, Su Lin rolled his eyes. They are just apprentices in your boxing gym. You don't know what their nature is like. But, no buts, Director Liu, I believe in you. Okay then. If you feel guilty about me. Su Lin grinned. What? Do you still want to continue running the boxing gym? Huh? What do you mean? Director Liu was stunned and didn't know what it meant for a moment. We can't open the gym outside, so let's continue to restore the glory of the gym here. Don't be idle, Su Yue, Lin Xiaoyan, and Zhang Jiajia. Let's train the three of them hard. After Su Yue got into this incident, Su Lin was also scared. In addition to being scared, he also thought of giving Su Yue more self-protection capabilities. Not to mention the pistol. There was only one pistol, and Su Yue didn't know how to use it. Then let Director Liu teach a few tricks, so that when encountering such a situation, he can have some self-protection capabilities. Hearing Su Lin say this, Director Liu's eyes flashed with a hint of brightness. Indeed. Why didn't I think of it? Okay. We can also let them have some boxing skills. In case the enemy attacks, they can barely fight. Ha ha ha. That's what I thought. Then I'll leave it to you. And by the way, do a good job of atonement. His career can continue, and he can also make up for his shame and apology. Killing two birds with one stone. The haze between Director Liu's brows has dissipated a lot. Then I will obey your orders, but I don't need to worry about Liang Crossing. No. She's been very busy recently. When Su Lin mentioned Liang Crossing, a smile appeared on his lips. Okay then. Director Liu nodded. However, the look he gave Su Lin was also meaningful and had ulterior motives. Pay attention. Sometimes, once you leave, everything is gone. Huh. Su Lin was stunned for a moment. Oh, it's okay. Liang Crossing is not that kind of person. She told me very clearly, and I also support her to go out and save more people. Hearing this, Director Liu covered his mouth and laughed secretly. So you are still a straight man. What I mean is to cherish her. You go first. You go first. Ha ha ha. Director Liu waved his hand and left. Su Lin was left with a confused face. He scratched his head and looked at Director Liu's back with a confused look. What do you mean? After finishing the materials, Su Lin walked outside. The soldiers were very efficient. The bodies, debris and so on were almost all cleaned up. Come on, this is what you deserve. Su Lin also took out enough food and drinking water from his space pocket. He naturally didn't have that much reserve. He still spent 2000 sunlight points to extract it from the plants. Looking at the food and supplies that looked like a small mountain in front of them, everyone showed crazy expressions. Even though they had eaten too much just now, they were really hungry recently. Hunger has become a nightmare. In the face of such a full sense of security, no one would not go crazy. Okay, take care of yourself, bye. Waving his hand, seeing that it was getting late, Su Lin had to look for materials for fusion tomorrow. After returning to the house, he said hello and then fell asleep. Too tired. Today, whether it was facing the hard battles of the army, facing the betrayal of Xiao Wang and the others, or venting in anger, it was a torture for Su Lin's spirit. This sleep lasted until about 10 o'clock in the evening. Su Lin rubbed his sleepy eyes and slowly walked downstairs. Brother, you are awake. Do you want to eat something? Yeah. I'm so sleepy. Oh. Su Lin's originally sleepy eyes brightened up instantly because Liang Crossing had returned. Oh, I'm back. That's so fast. Liang Crossing smiled, then walked forward and came to Su Lin. I heard. Are you okay? Well, it's not a big deal. It's just that Su Yue was nervous and scared when she was held hostage. Thinking of that scene, Su Lin still felt a little scared. It's good that you're okay. It's good that you're okay. Liang Crossing comforted. I'm asking you, are you heartbroken? Heartbroken? Su Lin grinned. No. He shook his head and glanced at Liang Crossing. Aren't you mentally prepared for this? People who achieve great things don't care about trivial matters. If you also want to set up a world salvation organization, this kind of thing is probably inevitable. Chapter 103, The Glory of Humanity. Listening to Su Lin's words, Liang Crossing also showed an agreeing look and nodded. The two smiled in tacit understanding. It's hard to say what this smile represents. A little bloody cruelty, a little helplessness, and more of a sense of cherishing each other. Su Lin had this feeling a long time ago. In this house, he and Liang Crossing have the highest tacit understanding in some aspects. This tacit understanding, in such a end of the world, is the best weapon to survive. Okay, tell me about your situation. Yeah. Liang Crossing nodded. The two of them also came to the sofa in the living room together with the others. In Liang Crossing's story, everyone, even Su Lin himself, also understood the situation in Chunfeng City at this time. Don't look at Su Lin not being at home every day, always running outside. He went there with a purpose, in order to collect enough materials to merge into a new plant. Liang Crossing wanted to find out the situation in Chunfeng City. He walked from sunrise to sunset. He knew much more about Chunfeng City than Su Lin. In Liang Crossing's narration, the situation in Chunfeng City was far more dangerous than he had imagined. Because of the influence of radiation, animals had already mutated. Liang Crossing even saw several rats the size of humans. As the pet cats and dogs grew in size, their claws and fangs became even sharper. Not to mention the giant insects. A grasshopper could be bigger than a car. The appearance of foreign enemies did not unite the people of Chunfeng City. Instead, due to the lack of food, they killed each other. There were debris and corpses everywhere, broken limbs and feet. The coagulated blood clots even emitted a foul smell. At the same time, in addition to the Vulcan Fortress, a salvation organization, Chunfeng City also had several salvation organizations. However, their reputations were not so good. There was even a salvation organization that had cannibalism. It was in such a dire situation. Liang Crossing also saw a ray of hope. Huh? You mean that clinic? Dr. Li Da. Su Lin was stunned. Because Liang Crossing just said that she met Li Da and reached a consensus with him. In other words, Li Da has chosen to join Liang Crossing's camp. Yeah, you know him too? Yeah. Su Lin rolled his eyes. Of course he knows him. He had bravely entered the military base before and was hit by a stray bullet. Wasn't it Li Da who saved him? Then Su Lin also told this matter. Oh, no wonder. When I gave him food, he said that the food felt familiar. That pervert. Su Lin was a little helpless. I invited him to come before, but he refused me and then turned around and hung out with you. Ha ha ha. Liang Crossing scratched his head a little embarrassedly. By the way, he also awakened his superpowers. Although the price was a bit tragic. Oh, what happened? He ate radiated food before, and half of his leg was infected by radiation. He lost consciousness and walked unsteadily, but he also awakened his superpowers. He didn't say what it was, but just said that, as long as a person was still alive, he could save him. Wow, that's good. Su Lin nodded. It seems to be a superpower related to medical care, which suits him well. Yeah, I also found a few like-minded ordinary people, and also found a place that can barely be used as a base. Speaking of this, Liang Crossing pursed her lips. That's about it. She herself didn't expect to accomplish so many things on the first day. This also means the arrival of separation. Su Lin nodded, and he also guessed that Liang Crossing had finished talking about the matter. The next step was to see what he meant. How many days? Liang Crossing was stunned, perhaps because he didn't expect Su Lin to be so direct. Why is it still like this? Su Lin rolled his eyes. We have made it very clear, and I support you. You have to give me some time. 3 or 4 days. Liang Crossing lowered her head unconsciously. Although it was made clear, she felt that it was still not kind enough to do so. Okay, don't worry about it. 3 or 4 days. I will try my best to prepare supplies for you and try to ensure that you have 100 people and half a month of food. But you have to prepare a truck to load it yourself. Su Lin. Hey. Stop. Su Lin interrupted Liang Crossing. I won't say it to others, but if it's you, I will stand up. In the previous life, Liang Crossing gave Su Lin bread. This kindness, even if it has been reincarnated for several centuries, Su Lin will never forget it. What's more, Liang Crossing went out to save more people. An eagle like her who is kind-hearted, cares about the world, and has great ambitions to save people from suffering, will naturally not be confined to a warm nest. Thank you. Speaking of this, you better do your best. I can still protect you here. If you go outside, I can't rush over if there is any danger. Yeah. After hearing Liang Crossing's thoughts, Su Yue and Lin Xiaoyan, 2 little girls, came to her and hugged her arms tightly. Sister Liang Crossing, you are great. Yes, we too don't have this idea or ability. Director Liu and Zhang Jiajia also sent their blessings. Miss Liang, there are still 3 or 4 days of Kung Fu. If you don't mind, I will teach you a few sets of boxing, which can also be used for self-defense. Liang Crossing, you have to take care of yourself. Ahem. Liang Crossing, who was surrounded by his companions, was a little amused and cried, why are you so separated from each other? By the way, Su Lin, what's the matter? What if I want to poach people? Anyone can do it except Su Yue. If you want to be free, you must bear something. But I can't let Su Yue take this risk. Su Lin rolled his eyes. Ha ha ha, I'm just joking. I'm not that bad. Liang Crossing looked at Su Lin's serious look and waved his hands and laughed. TSK. Su Lin rolled his eyes. Okay, everyone. Liang Crossing looked at everyone. By the way, help me choose a name. The name of the Salvation Organization should be cooler. Sister Liang Crossing. Su Yue jumped up and down. Let's call it Star Moon Alliance. Too feminine. Zhang Jiajia retorted. Let's call it Great Lord. Your name is even worse. Lin Xiaoyan tried it out. How about calling it Superhero? It's better to be One Punch Man. Star Moon Alliance. Otherwise, Star River Twinkle is also fine. Several people kept naming one after another. Su Lin looked at this scene, just smiled and said nothing. Liang Crossing looked at the excited crowd and smiled unconsciously. Then she glanced at Su Lin and said, what about you? Why don't you express your opinion? Me. I just gave them some time to perform. If I say it, then it will be the name. Oh. So confident? Of course not. Su Lin shrugged easily. After all, he already knew the answer. How could he not be confident? Then you tell me about it. Your salvation organization should be called the Glory of Humanity. Chapter 104 Level 10. Human Glory. Liang Crossing was stunned. After a moment's hesitation, a dazzling light shone in her eyes. She was mumbling and gradually began to get addicted to this name. Human Glory. Human Glory. Human Glory. Ha ha ha. Okay, this is it. Liang Crossing laughed. The other partners who had not been given a name first rolled their eyes to express their unhappiness and dislike for the name Human Glory. Then they also changed to a congratulatory tone and sent Liang Crossing their blessings one by one. This name is very nice. Thank you, Su Lin. Well, that's fine. Su Lin shrugged. This is a bit hasty. After all, the name of Human Glory was chosen by himself. After shaking his head, Su Lin decisively put this thought behind his head. If he continued to think like this, he would probably be in a big trouble. Su Yue and Lin Xiaoan pestered Liang Crossing and continued to talk about the situation in Chunfeng City. The other two men also looked at Liang Crossing with curiosity. Su Lin smiled and looked at the warm scene in front of him. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. He thought of Xiao Wang and Xiao Hong, and finally he could only say silently in his heart, it would be better if you two were not so greedy. There must be a limit to overestimating one's own abilities. Forget it. Su Lin shrugged. Don't think too much. Go outside to see the situation. Su Lin walked outside. The quiet night was filled with a faint fragrance, and there were all kinds of insects and birds singing. Su Lin looked at the sunflowers in front of him, who were still working hard, and a smile unconsciously appeared on his face. Then he walked forward and gently stroked the sunflower. Yes, you are my greatest support. You make me feel at ease, make me fearless, and allow me to hold my head high. System: Plants vs. Zombies level, Farm LV18, Plants, Pishu Turks 5, Sunflower X 35, Sunshine Points. 10 planting land. 40 defense value. 500 over 500, experience value. 259 over 1800, ability, extraction, gold coin upgrade, unlocked plants, sunflower, pea shooter, nuts, potato butts, cabbage shooter, frozen lettuce, torch stump, charm mushroom, kiwi, boomerang shooter, K1, energy flower, fire dragon grass, cherry bomb, steel ground spike, electric green tea unlocked. Blueprints, corn pitcher, mistletoe ice fairy, gold coins. 2010, plant advancement, pea shooter, level 3, cabbage shooter, level 3, sunflower, level 2, kiwi, level 2, nuts, level 3, frozen lettuce, level 3. Vegetable question, level 2, potato mine, level 3, fire dragon grass, level 3, cherry bomb, level 3, steel ground spike, level 3, electric green tea, level 3, brilliant light, LV2 everything is ready. The next step is to wait for the zombies to arrive. I was careless. All 3 gold beans have been used up. I was exhausted during the day. I don't know how the zombie GGs will come tonight. Take a short break in the living room. The rest of the people went to bed long ago. The knock on the door that was bound to come finally arrived on time. Su Lin took a deep breath, walked forward, and prepared to start the carnival tonight. Ding, the 10th level, zombies are coming. Please be prepared. The number of zombies *60 ding. Please note that this level is in 0 mode ding. Please note that the pirates are starting to board the ship. Ding, please pay attention, because the pirate zombies appeared. They temporarily stole the land. Ding, please pay attention. In the A, B, C, D, E area, the land from the 8th to the 6th row has been stolen. Ding, please pay attention. A new type of zombie has arrived. Seagull zombies. Imp zombie cannons. Su Lin raised his eyebrows. Not only because of the sharp increase in the number of zombies, but also because of the greed of these pirates. They stole so much land. Question mark? What does this mean? It means that only the 1st to 5th rows of land are left. Originally there were 40 pieces of land that could be planted. Now, only 25 pieces of land are left. More than half of them were stolen directly. At the same time, it also means that most of the places where Su Lin can deploy troops are gone in an instant. In addition to the new zombies that appeared, the only thing that can be thankful for, perhaps only, Su Lin probably guessed that he would have to face the zombies this time. Apart from anything else, most zombies will not appear. After all, there is such a big cross-stitch. Do they dare to come? I was afraid that I might miss a step and fall directly into the dark black hole. Forget about the ordinary zombies, iron zombies, etc. that come slowly. Only the zipline zombies and the 2 new zombies that are about to appear can make a shining appearance. After taking a deep breath, Su Lin planted the first plant. Of course it was a sunflower. What was he thinking? In the zero clearing mode, the first plant is always a sunflower. With the addition of a few sunlight points awarded by the 10,000 miles of light, the second sunflower appeared directly like a seamless connection. Then, the first sunflower also began to produce. Seeing that the zombies have not come yet, that is, sunflowers. In the blink of an eye, when the first zombie, the zipline zombie, appeared, Su Lin had already planted 5 sunflowers. A full arsenal is ready. In this level, Su Lin does not plan to use the combination of pea shooter plus torch crown. Originally, the first row was all sunflowers. The combination of these two plants occupies 2 positions. Only the 4th and 5th rows are left. If there are only 2 empty positions, it is really dangerous. This is the trouble caused by the short front line. Taking advantage of the situation, Su Lin directly planted the cabbage shooter in the 2nd row of Area E to deal with the zipline zombies that also came and appeared in the 5th row of Area E. It would be better if there was a corn pitcher. Su Lin pouted. Due to the attack characteristics of the pea shooter, the peas are shot straight out and can only attack the first opponent they touch. And pitchers such as cabbage and corn have a certain parabola. Like the zipline zombie, as long as it appears, no matter how it swings in the air, it will be directly attacked by the cabbage. There is a great possibility that it will be shot down directly and fall into the black hole that appears when the land is stolen. As for the corn pitcher, it can directly kill the seagull zombie. Seagull zombies, as the name suggests, are zombies that are suspended by seagulls. Not only can it attack directly from the root of stolen land, but it can also cross most low plants and will not be affected by their effects. For example, steel ground spikes. Chapter 105, Imp Zombie Cannon. Steel spikes are born short and close to the ground, so the seagull zombies will fly directly over their heads and will not be stabbed by them. However, its mortal enemy is a corn pitcher. It will be killed instantly by the corn pitcher's butter. What a pity. I can't use the corn pitcher tonight. I can only pray that everything goes well tonight and collect materials tomorrow. At this stage, Su Lin does not plan to use the pea shooter. It is not the best solution to deal with these 3 zombies. Soon, the cabbage shooter successfully and lived up to everyone's expectations to solve the first zipline zombie. The second round of zombies will naturally not be so easy. A full 3 zipline zombies. They appeared in areas A, C, and D in turn. Su Lin, who was short of money, finally waited for the zipline zombies and determined their landing positions. The handshaking planted the nuts in the 5th row of Area C. Then came the boomerang shooter in the 2nd row of Area A. Boomerang shooters can cause damage to multiple targets and are the best solution to deal with the imp zombie cannon. Finally, the cabbage shooter was planted in the 2nd row of Area D. Wait a moment, the sunlight points have been gathered. Su Lin hurriedly supplemented the reinforcement of Area C. After all, there are only sunflowers and nuts in Area C now. There is no means of attack at all, and Su Lin has already prepared the most suitable plants. Electric green tea, 3x3 attack range, planted directly in the 4th row of Area C. Enough to protect the 3 areas of B, C, and D for the 3rd row of Area C. It is actually better to choose fire dragon grass. The same 3x3 attack range. 1 lightning, 1 flame. Enough to make the zombies eat a pot. But, due to the particularity of this level, Su Lin plans to observe it carefully before talking. At least the layout arrangement at this moment is enough to annihilate the flying rope zombies. Su Lin, who had enough sun points, did the most basic defense work, that is, planting nuts in the 5th row. Even if the nuts were in cooling time, he did not plant other plants. He was waiting for the arrival of 2 new zombies. Finally, they came. Ding, please pay attention. Seagull zombies, the little devil zombie cannon is coming. Seagull, fly over. Flying over with the zombie tied by ropes between its legs. The seagull zombie has successfully accumulated flight mileage points. He is now planning to go to the world's top university and enjoy a brain feast vacation. The seagull zombie is very fast. It flew over from the edge in an instant. It can fly, and it is not afraid of those black hole lands. Just fly over. Seeing that the seagull zombies are attacking together and appearing on all areas at the same time, Su Lin quickly planted cabbage shooters in the empty space. In this way, there are cabbage shooters in the 5 major areas, and they can deal with seagull zombies with ease. Don't count on the electric green tea in Area C. The sizzling thunder and lightning are surging on the ground. They can't hit the seagull zombies flying in the air at all. As for the Imperial zombie cannon, I saw that from a distance. Black shadows appeared in the 5 major areas. It is a cannon. This is also the characteristic of the Imperial zombie cannon. They only appear faintly and far away, and they will continue to launch imp zombies in front of the line. That's why it is called the imp zombie cannon. Other cannons fire cannonballs, but it fires imp zombies. However, there is a certain probability of failure. And failure means that the imps fired have a certain probability of falling into the black hole with a plop. If 5 imp zombies are not destroyed after being fired, they will automatically explode and fire about 10 imp zombies in any direction in front of the venue. 10 imp zombies come at once. No one can stand it. The best way is to get rid of it quickly. This is also the reason why Su Lin chose to plant the boomerang pitcher. Using plants with penetrating attacks is the perfect weapon to deal with the imp zombie cannon. The imp zombies joined the mission of the Cannon Brotherhood, where they can easily get promotion opportunities, because according to tradition, the cannon will shoot the supreme leader of the time in each battle. Bang! Fire! Very pitifully, the first imp zombie fell directly into the deep black hole with a plop, although the second imp zombie landed luckily. But what stood in front of it was nuts. Not only imp zombies, even the seagull zombies, who finally crossed the black hole and came to the plant area, encountered nuts. After all, the seagulls were carrying zombies and could not fly too high, so they had to stop. When they encountered nuts, the seagulls had to stretch out their sharp claws and keep eating the nuts in front of them, trying to break through here. Not to mention the imp zombies. Seeing that the nut teams in the 5th row were already able to resist the zombies, Su Lin also relaxed a lot. He began to plant cabbage shooters and boomerang pitchers in the spare space. These 2 plants are the most useful for dealing with these 3 types of zombies. Then 3 consecutive imp zombie cannons appeared one by one. They directly occupied 5 areas. They fired one after another. All the imp zombies were safely and accurately sent to the other side. After landing, the imp zombies immediately bared their teeth and claws and attacked the nut army. Seeing this, electric green tea directly released the crackling lightning. On the other side, the boomerang pitchers planted in all areas also began to get busy. After triggering the attack distance, a boomerang was thrown directly, with a puff. After attacking the first imp zombie, it immediately hit the second one. It passed by with a swish and finally hit the imp zombie cannon far away. The penetrating attack was probably something that even the imp zombie cannon itself did not expect. It will be good if it goes on like this. Su Lin grinned. With victory in hand, he chose to continue to pursue the victory. He threw an energy beam. He used it on the cabbage shooter. Dozens of huge cabbages directly hit all the zombies on the scene. Come again. He continued to use the energy beam move. He directly cleared out most of the zombies. It seems that they have gradually adapted to the LV2 zombies. Although they are much stronger than LV1, as long as the plants are properly matched, they can still be easily solved. Ding, please pay attention. The last wave of zombies is coming. Please hold your head up and prepare to die. You are still so rude. Su Lin rolled his eyes. Die? That's impossible. The plant phalanx is ready. The next step is to wait for the zombies to attack. Chapter 106. Clearance, level 10. More and more flying rope zombies appeared. Seagulls also came slowly with the tied up zombies. On the other side, more little devil zombie cannons appeared. They came in a hurry, but Su Lin still responded calmly. All the land that can grow plants was arranged by him. In addition to the last energy bean in his hand, there is also the only remaining tactical cucumber. But Su Lin did not intend to use the tactical cucumber here, unless he was really forced into a desperate situation. This tactical cucumber that can destroy the world should be saved for the 14th level. According to the system, every 7 levels will reward a powerful unknown creature. The enemy of the 7th level is Uzumaki Naruto. The enemy of the 14th level is unknown. After obtaining the tactical cucumber, Su Lin decided to keep this big killer well and waiting for the biggest crisis that is coming. Just as Su Lin was thinking about this, the nut army in the 5th row gradually couldn't hold on. The nuts in areas A and C were the first to sacrifice. But the funny thing is that when the nuts die, they will trigger the nutshell shattering. It can directly bounce away the zombies that are blocked by the nuts. and as luck would have it, all the nuts are planted in the most marginal area, and such a bounce directly bounces the zombies into the black hole. What bad luck. I finally broke through the nuts. I thought I could launch a general attack, but I didn't expect to be directly bounced away like this. Attack in vain. At the same time, more and more flying rope zombies appeared. Seagulls also came slowly with the tied up zombies. On the other side, more little devil zombie cannons appeared. They came in a hurry, but Su Lin still responded calmly. All the land that can be used to grow plants was arranged by him. In addition, the last energy bean in his hand, and the only remaining tactical cucumber. But Su Lin did not intend to use the tactical cucumber here. Unless he was really forced into a desperate situation, this tactical cucumber that could destroy the world should be saved for the 14th level. According to the system, every 7 levels, a powerful unknown creature will be rewarded. The enemy of the 7th level is Uzumaki Naruto. The enemy of the 14th level is unknown. After obtaining the tactical cucumber, Su Lin decided to keep this big killer well, waiting for the upcoming biggest crisis. Just as Su Lin was thinking this, the nut army in the 5th row gradually couldn't hold on. The nuts in areas A and C were the first to sacrifice. But the funny thing is that when the nuts die, they will trigger the nutshell shattering. It can directly bounce away the zombies that were blocked by the nuts. And as luck would have it, all the nuts were planted in the most marginal areas, and such a bounce directly bounced the zombies into the black hole. It was unlucky. It was not easy to break through the nuts. I thought I could launch a general attack, but I didn't expect to be bounced away like this. Attack in vain. At the same time, the other plants also continued to attack at their own pace, strive to avenge the nuts. However, as more and more imp zombie cannons appeared, the situation became more and more dangerous. Although there were some boomerang pitchers and cabbage shooters that could deal with imp zombie cannons, there were too many of them. Layer upon layer, Su Lin vaguely saw them merge. After overlapping, they can continue to launch imps directly without worrying about the place being too crowded. Because of this, the attack strength of the plants was far from enough, and it directly triggered the characteristics of the imp zombie cannon. Once 5 imp zombies are launched, if it has not been destroyed, it will explode directly. In this suicidal way, it will explode directly and launch 10 imp zombies. Pang pang pang, 3 consecutive sounds. 3 zombie cannons exploded directly and randomly launched a total of 30 imp zombies towards the land following it. At this time, the nut troops on the 5th row have been completely wiped out. Only the close range attack plants on the 4th row are left. In the 4th row of area C, the sizzling electric green tea was making use of its residual power. When it was swallowed alive by the imp zombie, it suddenly turned into a black cloud. The black cloud contained a lightning bolt, which crashed down. It directly killed the imp zombie. This is also one of the abilities of electric green tea, to perish together. However, after killing this imp zombie, there are still many imp zombies to come. Looking at this group of imp zombies that are short, agile, and sizzling with gnashing teeth, Su Lin suddenly felt that he had encountered rats. The attack of the rat group. Come on, this is the last wave. Su Lin, who held the last energy bean, did not hesitate to use this precious opportunity on the cabbage shooter. After all, it can attack zombies in all areas, not just in the same area. Bang bang bang. The cabbage thrower made a powerful attack and smashed 10 huge cabbages one by one to the zombies' heads. The unlucky zombies died one after another. In the end, after destroying the plants in the 4th row, the ferocious zombies finally fell under the long-range attack plants in the 3rd row. They couldn't move at all. Victory came to Su Lin again. Su Lin sighed. It's still a bit dangerous. If you are not careful, you may capsize in the gutter. These stinky pirates, what land are they stealing? This is the first time he has encountered such a situation where so much land has been stolen. Without land, it means the shortening of the front line, and it also means the limitation of the plants in the deployment of troops. I feel so uncomfortable. Ding, congratulations on clearing the 10th level. Ding, cleared the level successfully, and obtained 1000 sunshine points. Ding, obtained 1000 experience points. Ding, obtained 700 gold coins. Ding, congratulations on upgrading. Ding, congratulations on unlocking cactus system. Plants vs. Zombies level, farm LV19, plants. Sunflower X5, Cabbage Shooter X3, Pea Shooter X3, Boomerang Shooter X4, Kiwi X1, Sunshine Points. 1810, Planted Land. 40 Defense Value. 500 over 500, Experience Value. 101 over 1900, Ability, Extraction, Gold Coin Upgrade, Unlocked Plants, Sunflower, Pea Shooter, Vertical Fruit, Potato Bud, Cabbage Shooter, Frozen Lettuce, Torchwood, Charm Mushroom, Kiwi, Boomerang Shooter, Vegetable Question, Energy Flower, Fire Dragon Grass, Cherry Bomb, Steel Ground Spike. Electric Green Tea, Unlocked Blueprints, Corn Shooter, Mistletoe Ice Fairy, Cactus, Gold Coins. 2701, Plant Upgrades, Pea Shooter, Level 3, Cabbage Shooter, Level 3, Sunflower, Level 2, Kiwi, Level 2, Nuts, Level 3, Frozen Lettuce, Level 3. Vegetable Question, Level 2, Potato Mine, Level 3, Fire Dragon Grass, Level 3, Cherry Bomb, Level 3, Steel Ground Spike, Level 3, Electric Green Tea, Level 3, Brilliant Light, LV2 finally. Level 19 inches. Su Lin breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe tomorrow, or at worst the day after tomorrow, I'll be level 20. Because Brilliant Light can be upgraded, the Brilliant Light at LV3 can accommodate more people and produce more sunlight points. Secondly, when it was LV18, the system prompted that when it reached LV20, the system would have new changes. Su Lin was looking forward to it. As long as it's a good change, it's fine. Su Lin rolled his eyes, walked out of the house, and came to the land. After defeating the zombies, 4 treasure chests exploded. It was quite generous. He couldn't wait to open the first treasure chest. Ding, congratulations on getting pistol, unlimited bullets. Huh. Su Lin already had a pistol, and he got this pistol again. Forget it, I've already thought of who to give it to. The second treasure chest. Ding, congratulations on getting bulletproof vest, Trey. Oh my god. What a big gift package. Could it be that the system also knows that Liang Crossing is leaving here? Chapter 107, Dividing the Loot. As for the second pistol, it was naturally given to Liang Crossing for self-defense. She will leave here soon, and will probably continue to go to Chunfeng City tomorrow. Giving her a pistol will also allow her to protect herself in this chaotic world. But I didn't expect that there would be a bulletproof vest. Anyway, I'm basically staying here, so I'll give the bulletproof vest to Liang Crossing. TSK, it's a special one. Not only can it protect against bullets, but also normal attacks. Su Lin raised his eyebrows. This bulletproof vest is not like the ordinary ones, but more like the equipment in the game. Wearing this bulletproof vest, you will become stone in seconds, and you can withstand the beating for a longer time. Keep going. The third treasure chest. Ding, congratulations on getting the off-road motorcycle. What the hell? Keep going. The fourth treasure chest is the off-road armored vehicle. Fuck your system, you old pervert. Su Lin cursed to the sky. The things in these 4 treasure chests. Why do I feel that they are all for Liang Crossing to use? Forget it, then I'll just borrow flowers to offer to Buddha. Su Lin shrugged. He has decided to keep the off-road motorcycle for himself, and as for the other 3 things, let Liang Crossing give them. She needs them more. Push the door open and enter. It's just as Su Lin thought. Liang Crossing is waiting for him. There is also a bowl of hot fish porridge. Done. Liang Crossing looked at Su Lin gently. Yeah. Su Lin nodded. A faint feeling of affection filled the air. Come for a midnight snack. Don't you think that, if you go on like this, I will miss your midnight snack after you leave? You can come to find me. Come to my Glory of Humanity base. Ha ha ha. Su Lin laughed after hearing this. Yeah, I should come to find you anyway. Come out before eating. Yeah? Okay then. Liang Crossing nodded and followed him out. Su Lin has cleaned up the battlefield. The so-called cleaning up. In fact, it means planting sunflowers on all the land. And in the 8th row, all the pea shooters were planted to prevent incoming enemies. What's wrong? Take a look. Su Lin pointed to the empty space next to him. Wow, is this an armored vehicle? To be precise, it's an armored off-road vehicle. It can carry about 20 people in total and can carry about 10 people in a crisis. Here, the car keys. Su Lin threw the car keys directly to Liang Crossing. After hurriedly taking the car keys from the air, Liang Crossing blinked at Su Lin and said, "I saw it on TV. Shows that when boys give girls cars, they are all BMWs, Mercedes-Benzes, or sports cars. Why is it so hardcore in your case? It has become an armored off-road vehicle. Ha ha ha." Liang Crossing laughed and handed the keys to Su Lin. "I can't take this. If you can't take it, don't leave here. If I go out, I don't need to carry so many people. But if you are planning to set up a base, this kind of armored vehicle is very necessary. It can move freely. Just take it." Su Lin rolled his eyes. "This? Don't hesitate. I have an off-road motorcycle myself. By the way, there is no need to refuel. Just get some Sunday. The same principle as the small motorcycle. Just use sun points to charge it." And Su Lin also found that no matter where these vehicles go, Su Lin can always charge them. He just needs to ensure that there are enough sun points. And sunbathing is just a way to fool Liang Crossing. So powerful? Or solar energy? Liang Crossing was shocked. Almost, haha. Besides this, there are other things which can be regarded as some gifts for you in advance. After that, Su Lin also took out the pistol and bulletproof vest. "Where did you steal this?" "Reward. The bullets are also unlimited. But I can't shoot you, just take it." Su Lin directly stuffed the pistol in. Liang Crossing had no choice but to take the pistol. And at the moment when she took the pistol, her brain emerged with a lot of knowledge about firearms. As if she had mastered it, she could use a gun. "I know how to shoot. So magical?" Question mark. Yeah, the same goes for armored vehicles. When you take the key to the cockpit, you will automatically learn it. Wow, are they all rewards for defeating the zombies just now? Almost. Su Lin nodded. "Great. Do you want me this bulletproof vest too? What else? I have developed motor nerves. Although I can't dodge bullets yet, I won't have any trouble next time, right?" Su Lin rolled his eyes. Although he killed Zhang Xianming and put an end to Yan Wu's arrogance, he didn't know if Zhang Xianhu would come to seek revenge. In addition, during the day, he was monitored by an unknown person, and troubles would come one after another. He, Su Lin, wanted to get rid of it, but he didn't have any way. Since he came, he would make the best of it. At least, he wanted Liang Crossing to be well prepared when he left, so as not to be broken arms and legs when they met next time. "I'm a little embarrassed." "Then don't go out. Stay here. I'll protect you." Su Lin glanced over. "Haha. Then I'll take it, so you can feel at ease." "Yeah." Then, the two of them returned to the house and ate the fresh and hot fish porridge. "By the way, is this fish?" Su Lin frowned and asked. Although he smelled a fishy smell, the taste was not like it. "Special fish, mixed with mutton and pork. There is no seafood in the refrigerator." "Yeah." Su Lin nodded. "How could there be seafood? Plants? Can there be seafood? Question mark. You're thinking too much. It's good to have meat to eat." After dinner, the two of them went back to their rooms to rest. Among all the people, they were the most tired today, so it was better to rest early. What's more, the two of them had to go on a long journey tomorrow. Liang Crossing was to create his Glory of Humanity Salvation organization. Su Lin was to collect materials to fuse plants. The next morning, when Su Lin yawned and walked downstairs, Su Yue had already prepared breakfast. "Come and eat, brother. How come you have slept till now? Sister Liang Crossing has left." "Oh, yeah, she was a little impatient waiting, so she said she was leaving and drove your motorcycle." "Okay, forget about her. I'll drive the off-road motorcycle later." "Yeah." Looking at the elaborate breakfast prepared by Su Yue, Su Lin twitched his mouth. "Why is it so rich today? Seeing that you run outside every day, I will prepare something rich for you to reward you." "Haha, then thank my sister for your kindness." Su Lin, who ate heartily, was soon full. "Okay, I'm full. It's time for me to go too." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 108 Spring Breeze City. Walk out of the door and ride on the off-road motorcycle. Target Chunfeng City. There are still 3 plants on hand that need to be taken care of. Corn pitcher, mistletoe ice fairy, cactus. Among them, the simplest is corn pitcher. 2 corns are enough. Cactuses, 1 cactus plus 1 steel thorn. It is also simple. There should be cacti over there in the botanical park. Steel thorns. There are any construction sites or ready-made buildings. It's just that this mistletoe ice fairy is exciting enough. A piece of ice. This is easy. Anyway, there is frozen lettuce, and anything that needs ice is simple. But, a piece of ice plus an inflatable doll equals mistletoe ice fairy. Right. Inflatable doll old pervert system. I don't know what's going on again. What was the one-stop service before? It was all too much. Now, inflatable wow, but Su Lin can understand it. After all, the mistletoe ice fairy is one of the few human-shaped plants among the plants. There is really an ice fairy standing in the mistletoe flower. For this ice fairy, Su Lin had to bite the bullet and go all out. Let's get the corn first, but it should be hard to find. I'm afraid all the corn in the city has been eaten up, not to mention the corn in the wild. Su Lin, twisting the handlebars of the motorcycle, rode the roaring off-road vehicle, whizzing past. The roaring engine bombed the entire forest, looking extremely cool. Huzzing past, Su Lin soon arrived at the Spring Breeze City in a much shorter time than the previous small motorcycle. Depressed and dilapidated. As time goes by, this hellish scene will only get worse. Let's go to the botanical garden directly. Along the way, the farmland in the suburbs is completely barren. After crossing most of Chunfeng City, Su Lin finally arrived at the gate of the dilapidated botanical garden without any danger. Why do I say without any danger? On the road, in addition to those vicious thugs who wanted to hit Su Lin directly, he also saw those animals and insects that had begun to mutate. The insects were so big that Su Lin thought he had traveled through time again. He traveled to a long time ago, far beyond the dinosaur era. It was still the world of insects. No, it was the world of giant insects. The huge insects were enough to scare people. Some citizens have already started their escape journey. But this is a stupid thing to do. It's not only Chunfeng City that has giant insects and mutated animals. There are also other cities. It's even worse in the wild. Running out unarmed and unprepared like this is just to fill their stomachs. Botanical garden. Here I come. Su Lin put the off-road motorcycle aside. Fortunately, the vehicles and items rewarded by these treasure chests have self-protection programs. Anyone who gets on the car without Su Lin's consent will be electrocuted. The botanical garden has long lost its former fragrance. It is even filled with the stench of death. Just when Su Lin was surprised and puzzled, the scene in front of him told him the answer directly. There are several people in black uniforms walking around, apparently on patrol. No way, no way. Is this also a home? Ignore him, ignore him. Another home of Yamwu? Ah. Su Lin spitted. Why are you so excited? Could it be that this place is the same as the Vulcan fortress and another superpower has appeared? Looking at this posture, Su Lin easily compared it with the Vulcan fortress. This kind of patrol work, this weird and somewhat familiar feeling. I'm afraid that the botanical garden has been occupied by someone as a base. Oh my god. What should I do? Is history going to repeat itself? Su Lin's mouth twitched. But he was different now. Last time, although he had a pistol, he couldn't fight 10 people with one due to his physical fitness. Now, fighting 1 against 100 is no problem. Besides, how can ordinary people have such things as guns? Let's collect intelligence first. If it doesn't work, just force our way in. Anyway, there's nothing to be afraid of. Su Lin shrugged and walked forward with a relaxed look. Seeing someone coming, several patrolmen who were walking back and forth all stood in place, holding wooden sticks, and shouted fiercely, "Who are you? Just passing by, want to eat? Get lost. We are all hungry, and we still want to eat. Don't worry." Su Lin waved his hand. "I left something in the botanical garden before, and I want to go in to look for it. Get lost. This place is occupied by us. If you don't want to die, leave here quickly." Ouch. This is clearly a botanical garden. Why can't I go in, even if I want to? Get lost. If you don't leave. As soon as the voice fell, these people were stunned. They all stared at what Su Lin was holding. It was a grilled steak. What if I say that I just want to go in, and I want to know what happened here? Several people looked at each other. While looking at each other, their brains were working rapidly. If one piece is not enough, then 2 pieces, or 3 pieces? Su Lin directly took out enough tempting food from the space pocket. Every time he went out, he had done all these daily preparations very well. It's better to be prepared. Okay. These people were already starving. Under the temptation of food, they surrendered directly. Su Lin sneered and threw the steak on the ground. Come and eat it yourself. He was told to get lost several times just now. Su Lin himself was a little annoyed. If it wasn't more convenient to obtain intelligence this way, he would have used force long ago. Now you still want Su Lin to deliver the food in a nice way. Dream on. But for these people, steak on the ground? Eat it. As long as it's food, it's fine. 1 step, 2 steps. They rushed to the ground in a hurry. They were like starving ghosts, grabbing the dirty steak and eating it directly. They didn't even want to wash it with water. They didn't care at all when dust and dirt entered their mouths and caused them to cough continuously. As long as they could fill their stomachs, what's the harm? Su Lin looked down at the group of starving ghosts in front of him who were wolfing down. His eyes were full of contempt for them. But he could understand this mentality. After all, he was almost the same in his previous life. Okay, I've given you the food. Tell me what happened in this botanical garden. The leader swallowed the beef with difficulty and said with difficulty, anything else? I'm not full yet. I'll tell you when I'm full. What if I say no? Then several people looked at each other. Their appetites gradually overwhelmed their rationality. The moment their eyes met, they still decided tacitly. Take the risk. Be an ungrateful person. Chapter 109. Current status of the botanical garden. Su Lin took out his pistol directly. He pointed it at the leader. To be honest, I could have taken out my pistol at the beginning and threatened you to tell it. This would be more efficient. It's just because I feel sorry for you. I can empathize with you, so I shared it with you. But is this how you treat your benefactor? Haha, Su Lin sneered. The sound of the trigger being pulled was accompanied by the sound of several people kneeling on the ground. Brother, spare us. Brother, we don't dare. Yes, brother, let us go. It's just that we were possessed by the devil just now. Humph, Su Lin sneered. He looked at these people with a look of looking at garbage. If he had taken out a pistol directly at the beginning, I'm afraid that they, who have been hungry for a long time and have lost confidence in life, will just break the jar and lie down. It's nothing more than death. Being shot is better than being starved to death. Question mark? But Su Lin let them eat some delicious food right away to fill their stomachs a little. In this case, who would dare to accept death calmly? Speak, I will spare your life. Thank you, big brother. Big brother, I'm so sorry. We really did something wrong just now. We won't dare to do it again. This botanical garden. After listening to the stories of several people, Su Lin also understood what happened to this botanical garden. It was indeed occupied. It's just that it was a group of rabble. There was no talent inside who could command everyone. They just muddled through. As for why they chose this place, it was just because it was more convenient to chew the bark. In addition, there were some plants inside that were edible. Although they were almost polluted, even if they would vomit and have diarrhea after eating, it was better than being hungry. Oh, Su Lin rolled his eyes. He thought it was so great. It turned out to be just a group of mountain monkeys. So you guys are out on patrol? Yeah, spontaneously. After all, this is a Feng Shui treasure land. It's inevitable that someone will be concerned about it, so we assign people to patrol. TSK. Su Lin smacked his lips. It seems that this place has become a small society with clear division of labor. Okay, I understand. Then I'll go in and find what I want. After I find it, I will leave. You don't have to worry about what I will do to you. Su Lin waved his hand, pretending to bypass these people and go in directly. Wait. Big brother, what's wrong again? Su Lin rolled his eyes. You really think I'm easy to talk to, right? You're dithering. I've already said that I'll find something and leave when I find it. I won't bother you. If you keep nagging, I'll shoot you. No, big brother. Can you let us hang out with you? Yes, big brother. It's really hard to make a name for yourself here. We eat wild grass and tree bark every day. The piece of beef just now is the only meat we have in the past few days. Yes, big brother, let us get along with you and work like a cow or a horse, no matter what. Let's talk about it later. I'll find it first. Su Lin waved his hand. The madness of these people made Su Lin dare not refuse directly. God knows whether they will continue to pester him. It's better to fool them for the time being. Then bye. As soon as the voice fell, Su Lin ran away. Seeing this, several people hurriedly planned to catch up. But who is Su Lin? His body has been trained, and his physical fitness is far superior to that of ordinary people. 100 meters? 1000 meters? 10,000 meters? The world champion is not his opponent. In addition, he eats and drinks well every day. He is not hungry and has enough nutrition. He shook off these people easily. When he ran to a big tree, Su Lin also stopped. He could guess what these people were going to say. It was nothing more than that they came to help find it. Although this is more efficient and they are familiar with this place, Su Lin doesn't want to owe this favor. Trouble. But this is not a botanical garden at all. Looking around, Su Lin just wanted to complain. The botanical garden used to be used for viewing and entertainment. Now, not to mention the roadside, everything that grows from the soil in the park has been eaten. Some were only nibbled for a while, like dandelions, sunflowers, and roses, all of which were only nibbled. Maybe it's too unpalatable and hard to swallow. And some were completely eaten. Gone directly. It looks like a delicacy from the mountains and the sea. Su Lin complained silently. Even bark and weeds are not spared. Tut tut. Su Lin shook his head and walked towards the tropical plants. Cactus. It's covered with thorns. It won't be eaten. When he came to the tropical plants exhibition area, Su Lin realized that he was overthinking. Looking around, there were several cacti. Even the thorns were eaten. Seeing everyone's strong appetite, Su Lin didn't know what to say for a moment. Fortunately, there were still a few cacti, which looked unappetizing. They were shriveled, yellowed, and even the thorns were soft. Fortunately, they looked poor appetite, otherwise I don't know who would have eaten them. Su Lin directly put the intact cactus into the space pocket, just waiting to collect the so-called steel thorns and merge them into cactus. By the way, let's see if there is any con. But the hope is slim. Even the cactus was eaten like this, let alone corn, which was originally food. After walking out of the tropical plant park, with the help of the tattered park signboard, Su Lin finally came here, and he couldn't help but feel cold in his heart where there was corn. Here, where is the corn? Even the corn cobs have been eaten almost. Only a few bits and pieces of the corn stalks that originally grew the corn were left. Too cruel. I can understand eating contaminated corn. After all, it is food. But what are corn stalks? Don't you know the principle of not killing the chicken when eating the eggs? Shaking his head, Su Lin had to take the last chance to try and walk into the field, trying to find the lucky one who survived. His luck was really good. Su Lin really found one. But looking at the corn in his hand, Su Lin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Forget it. The system also regards you as material. These two corns are simply baby corns. They just grew out, not even as long as a finger. They are extremely tender, but they don't have the previous brightness. It seems that they have been heavily irradiated by the Earth's core. Just as Su Lin was about to walk out of the farmland, there was a chill behind him. He subconsciously bent down. With a whoosh, a wooden stick swept across the air and hit the air directly. Chapter 110. Small Farmer, Chenzun. Su Lin quickly rolled over and temporarily distanced himself from the person behind him. Who are you? Why are you stealing my corn? The person who came was a young man, about 18 years old. He wore a straw hat, was dark all over, and his teeth couldn't stop trembling. It was obvious that he was very angry. Damn it. Su Lin gritted his teeth. If he hadn't reacted quickly, he would have had a concussion from the stick just now. Are you fucking crazy? You hit me like that? You are the crazy ones. You occupied my home without any explanation and uprooted the plants I worked so hard to grow, including the skin and fruits. It's okay to eat them, but why didn't you leave the roots? A gurgling sound came. The boy's face turned red. It seems that he is hungry. However, Su Lin also frowned and asked, "What do you mean your home? Isn't this a botanical garden? I grew up in the botanical garden and worked here. If this isn't my home, then what is it? All the plants here have been carefully taken care of by me. It's all you. You broke into my home without permission and destroyed all the plants I worked so hard to grow," the boy said angrily. Obviously, he thought Su Lin was the thugs who came to occupy the botanical garden. "Hey, wait, I just came here and wanted to find something before leaving." "Find something? These corns were all planted and cultivated by me with great effort," the boy said viciously. "Now I finally planted them again, and you picked them before the hairs have even grown." "Stop." Su Lin rolled his eyes. "Can these corns still be eaten after planting? Haven't they been contaminated by the Earth's core?" Hearing such an order, the boy was stunned. He opened his mouth and wanted to make some excuses, but he was powerless. He was speechless and shook his head dully. "I don't know either. It seems. I feel as if, after continuing to plant like this, everything will return to normal and those ordinary days will return to me again." After hearing this, Su Lin shook his head. Feelings are a pitiful person who is addicted to the past and can't extricate himself. "Hey, let me share some food with you. You must be starving." Su Lin took out the food. "Food? Yeah, just think of it as buying your corn with these." Then after a moment of hesitation, the boy nodded okay. In front of food, it is enough to tempt many things. The boy also ate voraciously. But what Su Lin didn't expect was that the boy stopped halfway through eating and looked at him straight. "Well, I still have some here. If you don't mind, let's eat together." "Huh. Now that food is so hard to find, planting corn is just mine and dream. You can pick it, but I can't let you starve, right?" Su Lin laughed. Giving food to so many people. It was the first time he saw someone make this request. "Boy, what's your name?" "Chenzun. Well, hello, my name is Su Lin. You eat, I'm full. This is extra. Yeah. Then, I won't be polite. Yeah." As if he had finally waited for permission, Chenzun finally felt relieved and wolfed down the food. Looking at Chenzun like this, Su Lin couldn't help but smile. It was like watching a child eating with big mouthfuls. "Hey, Chenzun." When Chenzun finished eating, Su Lin also went over and put a big hand on his shoulder. "What do you think? Since you like to grow plants so much, I'll find you a place to grow them well. Food and accommodation are also provided." Su Lin grinned. Just right. He also wanted to find someone to take care of his yard. In addition to the land for growing plants, there are also many places in the manor, and these open spaces are full of weeds. Chenzun is not only good at this, but Su Lin also has a liking for him. It's the so-called no fight, no acquaintance. So he wants to recruit Chenzun to live in his manor. Is there really such a good place? Yeah, in the suburbs. But, Chenzun said this, looking around, his eyes revealing reluctance. "No matter how much you plant here, it will be contaminated. Not to mention this, even if you plant it, it will be snatched away by the people here. Is it necessary?" "It's not necessary." Su Lin smiled. "Instead of that, it's better to come to my place directly, and you can still have a full meal." "That's fine." Chenzun nodded. Looking at his childish appearance, Su Lin couldn't understand for a while whether Chenzun was doing it for a meal or to be able to grow his beloved plants better. "Then wait for me, I'll go get the seeds." "Sure." Su Lin blinked, and suddenly, he realized something. If all kinds of ordinary plants were really planted on the open space in the manor, it would be much easier to find materials and integrate plants in the future. Looking at Chenzun's receding back, Su Lin couldn't help but grin. "Although I have to wait for a long time, as long as it blooms and bears fruit, it's fine." Ha ha ha. Soon, Chenzun came back. He was seen stumbling all the way with big and small bags. Su Lin directly threw all of them into the space pocket. Seeing Su Lin's actions, Chenzun was stunned. "What kind of magic is this?" "Ha ha ha. Then just treat it as a magic. If you follow me, you will inevitably see these magic tricks." Oh, Chenzun nodded. For a while, he didn't know what Su Lin meant. He was also confused. "Let's go. I still need to find some other things before returning to the manor." "Yeah." Su Lin walked in front, thinking about what to collect next. Now we have cactus and corn. We still need ice, steel thorns, and the most frustrating inflatable doll. Just as Su Lin was thinking about how to make the inflatable doll, he felt something hard on the sole of his shoe. Su Lin frowned and looked at the ground. Is it that simple? Su Lin twitched his mouth and bent down to pick up the things on the ground. This thing is just the steel thorn. Okay, now everything is gathered, except. Su Lin suddenly stopped and turned to look at Chen Zun. By the way, are you still a virgin? Chen Zun was confused by this sudden question. No, I mean, how do you solve your needs? Beat fat chickens? Chen Zun retreated again and again. His eyes were filled with fear of Su Lin. Chapter 111. Extremely shameful. What's the matter? I'm just asking, don't worry. Su Lin felt like crying but couldn't. But Chen Zun couldn't be blamed for this. Su Lin asked like a happy kid. No wonder Chen Zun had such a big reaction. That. Chen Zun twitched his mouth and looked at Su Lin with a look of a pervert. And Su Lin had to smile awkwardly. This is very embarrassing. Ha. I just asked casually. I declare in advance that I'm not a pervert. Really not a pervert. As for why I asked you this, it's because I want to find a thing. That is, restart WoW, of course. Su Lin said seriously. I use it to perform magic. Yes, magic. You need such a sacrifice. That's why I asked about your situation. Hey, speaking of this. Su Lin scratched his head embarrassedly. He didn't know why he was so crazy that he asked Chen Zun about such a topic. After he realized it, he was embarrassed. Chen Zun twitched his mouth, but the man in front of him was his benefactor who had given him a good meal. He had to accept his benefactor's bad taste. I understand. I don't have that restart WoW. That's right. Hahaha. I'm just overthinking. Su Lin smiled awkwardly, trying to ease the embarrassment in the air. Hahaha. There shouldn't be any here in the botanical garden. How about we go to the city to have a look? That's the only way. Su Lin shrugged. But I can think of those thugs outside. TSK you don't even need to think about it to know the fate of those restart WoW. It's already this time. What sense of shame has been thrown away? Real people dare to do it, let alone a fake like restart WoW. Let's go. Let's try it. Soon. The two arrived at the entrance of the botanical garden. Get on board. I'll take you flying. The off-road motorcycle roared past and soon arrived in the city. Su Lin followed his previous impression of shopping and went to find the so-called adult product store. This kind of store often automatically sells. Even if the boss is not inside, there is no problem. But when Su Lin arrived at the first adult product store, he trembled all over. There was a bald strong man in the store, outputting madly at a restart WoW. That look was just like a hungry villain who encountered a table of delicious food. Watching such a live broadcast, Su Lin just felt disgusted. Moreover, this restart WoW was a little tattered, and it was obvious that it had been used. It didn't feel dirty, but it didn't matter to these people. The material required a restart WoW, not a clean restart WoW. That. Chen Zun, who was sitting in the back, tugged at Su Lin's clothes. Su Lin, you're not going to use someone else's stuff, are you? It's so dirty. Go away. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use it as a sacrifice. Understand? Sacrifice. Just as Su Lin was making this argument, the bald man in the adult store glared at Su Lin fiercely. Then he stood up without even wearing pants. Hey, what are you two doing? Brother, continue. Su Lin's mouth twitched. After the bald man stood up, he wanted to take out some rice from his space pocket to feed the chickens. How pitiful. Get out. Don't get in the way here, or. The bald man grinned, his tone full of frivolity. Are you so self-abased that you can't walk? No, thank you. Su Lin rolled his eyes. So shameless. Then get out of here. Don't ruin my good thing. Okay. Su Lin didn't want to stay for a moment. He didn't mind picking up the used restart WoW, but the chickens raised by the bald strong man really scared him. As a last resort, the two had to go to the second adult product store, although there were no customers here. But the situation was even worse. All the restart dolls had been taken out and used. The restart WoWs scattered on the ground had white spots on their bodies. Damn, can't you pay attention to hygiene? There is also a foul smell. The familiar fishy smell came Su Lin stepped back again and again and directly dragged Chen Zun away from here. Don't you want to? No. Su Lin shook his head. It's too dirty. Damn. At least wash it. A bunch of psychopaths. After starting the off-road motorcycle, Su Lin was stunned. Chen Zun asked in confusion, what's wrong? Don't look for it anymore? No, I only remember these two adult product stores. This. Chen Zun also looked embarrassed. I remember there was one not far ahead. Oh. Su Lin raised his eyebrows. You're an expert. No. Chen Zun shook his head repeatedly. I just saw it when I passed by and took a look. So I was impressed. Haha, we are all men. I understand. I understand. Then, under the guidance of Chen Zun, the two came to the third adult product store. The door of this store was still locked. It seems that someone is usually in charge of it, and it is not the kind that is fully automatic. Oh no. Chen Zun was a little helpless. The iron gate is closed, and the boss should not be in it. It's okay, it's just closed. Su Lin grinned. Just smash it. Su Lin got off the motorcycle, grabbed the iron rod on the side, and swung it hard. Pa. A large piece of the iron gate was smashed directly. Seeing Su Lin so rude, Chen Zun was stunned, and Su Lin continued to swing the iron rod, constantly smashing, and finally smashed the iron gate directly. Let's go. Su Lin waved his hand and motioned Chen Zun to follow. Su Lin. This is too much. Hey, stop it. Su Lin turned around and pointed at Chen Zun with the iron rod at the same time. You just came out of the botanical garden. I'd better tell you some things earlier. Remember it. This world has been turned upside down. Violence is the only right thing to do. Su Lin was very worried that a teenager like Chen Zun, who loves fantasy and misses the past, would be easily abducted. Yeah. Chen Zun nodded. Then the two of them searched the adult products store. Finally, they found a restart wow that had not been opened and used. Su Lin walked out holding restart water, looking very happy. Who would have thought that when he was holding the baby in his arms with a proud smile on his face, he met Liang Crossing, who was passing by on a small motorcycle. Liang Crossing stopped the car, twitched the corners of his mouth, and looked at Su Lin with an extremely disdainful look. Chapter 112. Meeting Dr. Li Dao again. Su Lin's mouth twitched. He couldn't help complaining in his heart. I can also encounter this well. Let me explain. Su Lin rolled his eyes. No need. Liang Crossing stretched out his hand to stop Su Lin. Wow. Su Lin. Long time no see. I didn't expect you also have such a hobby. TSK. Dr. Li Dao, wearing a big white coat, slowly walked from the back. The look he gave Su Lin was full of the meaning of a fellow traveler. Dr. Li Dao. Long time no see. Su Lin smiled awkwardly and had to quickly put the inflatable doll aside. Yeah, I haven't seen you for so long, and I ran into you like this. You are worthy of it. You did a great job. Ha ha ha. No. Su Lin waved his hands repeatedly. He wanted to find a crack in the ground so much. In this way, he could get in directly. How great it would be to die on the spot. I just sigh. Su Lin, who wanted to cry but had no tears, had to cast a helping look at Liang Crossing. Liang Crossing also didn't know whether to laugh or cry and asked helplessly, is it similar to last time? Yeah. You still understand me? Woohoo. It's so embarrassing. Hahaha, I understand. It's okay, Li Dao. Su Lin, he's not a pervert, and there's nothing wrong with it. In order to maintain that farm manner, he had to do this, that. Liang Crossing's mouth twitched, and the four words inflatable doll also jumped out of her mouth with difficulty. For a lady like her, it's really embarrassing for her to say such words. That inflatable doll should be considered a sacrifice. Yes, it's a sacrifice. Well, I didn't say anything. Li Dao shrugged and looked at Su Lin, but I didn't expect that our boss is from your side. It's really fate. Boss, wow, not bad. Su Lin smiled. It's only been 2 days, and Liang Crossing has become the boss. Tut tut. That's not true. Li Dao also showed an admiring look. You don't know, when Liang Crossing came to me, the domineering aura all over his body. Wow. He conquered me directly. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. That's good. Su Lin laughed. He also believed that Liang Crossing would definitely be able to do something and save more lives. Liang Crossing raised his eyebrows and looked behind Su Lin. Who is this person? Oh, Chenzun. Come, introduce me. Then, Su Lin introduced them one by one. Chenzun, who was a little shy, was reluctant to communicate with Liang Crossing and Li Da for a while. So where are you going now? You are pretty good. Su Lin rolled his eyes at Liang Crossing. Li Da is obviously a little inconvenient. Su Lin glanced at Li Da's legs, and he was indeed staggering when he walked. You let him walk, don't you even plan to give him a ride? Su Lin. Li Da coughed lightly. You can't blame our boss for this. This is my request. Walking more is good for my legs. Liang Crossing raised her chin. Her face was full of smugness, as if she was asking Su Lin to apologize quickly. Seeing Liang Crossing's little girl look, Su Lin smiled happily. Oh, being the boss is different. Ha ha ha. TSK, apologize. I don't care. You wronged me. Oh. Su Lin smiled even more. Maybe he stayed in the farm manor for too long before. Liang Crossing has always felt that he was living under someone's roof. People under the eaves have to bow their heads. But the reunion in Chunfeng City at this time is a different feeling. At least, it is a rare time that Liang Crossing can be equal to Su Lin. Although Liang Crossing still has to go home for dinner after he finishes his work. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Liang Crossing. Boss Liang Crossing. Ha ha ha. Go away. I won't talk to you anymore. Li Da and Chenzun on the side looked at each other for a moment. They looked disgusted. They looked like single dogs who were fed dog food. Ahem. We are full. Ha. Su Lin and Liang Crossing were stunned, and they immediately blushed when they reacted. The two were like children who had done something wrong. Their eyes were evasive, and they seemed to be embarrassed by their secrets being exposed. That. Liang Crossing finally broke the silence. Then we'll leave first, and we still have to continue to look for like-minded people. Yeah. Bye. See you later. Yeah. Liang Crossing lowered her head, her face starting to turn red. Li Da on the side also waved his hand. Su Lin, let's go. Bye. You have to take care of yourself. I don't want to see you in the clinic. After a brief encounter, separation was inevitable. Su Lin just quietly watched Liang Crossing's back as she left. He thought to himself, when Liang Crossing completely sets up her own business, I'm afraid she and I can only meet in this way, here, in Chunfeng City. After shaking his head, Su Lin looked at Chenzun. Let's go. Yeah. Su Lin, does Liang Crossing also live over there on the farm? Yes, she's our partner, but my place can't accommodate her ambitions, and I support her in going out and making a living. She wants to set up a salvation organization to rescue the displaced people outside. Oh, Liang Crossing is really kind-hearted. Yeah. Speaking of kind-hearted, Su Lin was the most touched. Of course, sometimes I worry that her kindness will hurt herself, but if anyone dares to bully her, I will kill him and teach him a lesson the first time. Ha ha ha. Chenzun smiled awkwardly and could only complain in his heart. You two are like this and still hiding things. Tut tut. The off-road motorcycle rumbled away. Soon, they returned to the farm. Look, this is my territory. Wow. Chenzun got off the motorcycle and was extremely excited. There are so many sunflowers here. They are all brightly colored. They look healthy. Yes, I used magic to plant these. They have magical powers. Let's go. The others are inside. Let me introduce them all. Yeah. He introduced himself quickly. Chenzun's reaction was similar to what Su Lin thought. As soon as he came in, he cried out one after another. Everyone who came into Su Lin's place cried out. Afterwards, Su Lin also told him things that needed to be paid attention to, such as not to open the door if someone knocked at night, as there would be terrifying creatures called zombies coming, and not to touch the land outside. Chenzun was allowed to play with the land in other parts of the manor to his heart's content. Okay, you young people can chat. I'm going to get busy. Afterwards, Su Lin walked out of the house. First extracted a pea shooter and put the food materials in the refrigerator. Then he planted frozen lettuce directly. Prepare to start melting new plants. Chapter 113. Crazy fusion of new plants. Hey, getting 3 plants at once. This feels really different. Su Lin couldn't wait and first merge the corn pitcher. Only 2 corns are needed. Very simple. Ding, congratulations on collecting all the materials and unlocking the corn pitcher. Ding, congratulations on unlocking the corn pitcher. Gaining 50 experience points and 200 sunlight points. Plant, corn pitcher. Description. Throw corn kernels or butter to attack the first target in front of you and attack zombies first if you can overcome obstacles. Each attack has a 75% chance of throwing a corn kernel and a 25% chance of throwing a piece of butter. Butter can hold a zombie for 8 seconds and can kill bird zombies instantly. Sunlight. 100 damage. 20, 75% of corn kernels, /40, 25% of butter, attack interval. 2.9 seconds immobilization time. 8 seconds cooling time. 5 seconds quality. White corn pitcher is the eldest of the pitcher brothers. Among the 3 brothers, only corn can remember the birthdays of others, but it just can't remember them very accurately. Finally, I got the corn pitcher. There are 2 ways for the corn pitcher to attack. One is corn kernels, and the other is butter. Butter not only has high damage, but it can also hold a zombie, and can even kill bird zombies instantly. It can be called the natural enemy of bird zombies. Its ultimate move is even more excessive, directly throwing a piece of butter at all targets on the field. Yes, all targets. Just go straight up. And butter can still immobilize zombies, making them unable to move. Once you encounter an overwhelming group of zombies, the ultimate move of the corn pitcher often works wonders. Without stopping, Su Lin quickly merged the second plant. Cactus plus steel thorn still equals cactus. Ding, congratulations on collecting all the materials and unlocking cactus. Ding, congratulations on unlocking cactus, gaining 150 experience points and 400 sunlight points. Plant, cactus. Description. Cactus can fire penetrating spikes that can damage multiple enemies. When encountering an enemy, you can quickly shrink underground and attack in a similar way to ground spikes. Sunlight. 175 damage. 30, cactus thorns, /10, ground attack interval. 2.9 seconds immobilization time. 8 seconds cooling time. 5 seconds quality. Orange things have changed a lot for cactus lately. Book deals, movies, truck shows, etc. She just wants to stay humble and fire her spikes like usual. Cactus's ultimate move is relatively simple and crude. Release energy to turn all the spikes on the body blue and increase the damage to twice the original. Cactus is like a boomerang thrower. It has the ability to penetrate. With a poo sound, it directly fires the spikes on its body. Xiu pew pew poo. The most amazing thing is that when a zombie approaches, cactus will drill directly into the ground. Although it looks a bit cowardly, it will also concentrate the spikes on its body on its head and continue to cause damage to the zombies passing over its head. Not only can it continue to attack, but it also has an absolute ability to protect itself. Zombies are not so smart that they would think of digging 3 feet into the ground to get the body of the cactus out before attacking. The zombies, who suddenly had no target, had to continue moving forward and use their feet to feel the thorns of the cactus. Next is, Su Lin looked at the frozen lettuce that he had planted. At the same time, he took out the inflatable doll that made him extremely ashamed. This inflatable doll is still inflated. It is about 1.6 meters tall. It looks ordinary. It is wearing a set of lace pajamas. The frozen lettuce showed a surprised look and looked at Su Lin. Those cute big eyes, blinking, are full of innocence, but also full of confusion and curiosity. Don't look at it, kid. Su Lin pursed his lips. If you look at it, I will be embarrassed to death. The frozen lettuce continued to blink, with a confused look on his face, and didn't understand what Su Lin meant at all. Come on, let you play with this pretty lady. Then, Su Lin stretched out his hand and grabbed the cold head of the frozen lettuce. The next moment, the frozen lettuce disappeared and the inflatable doll disappeared with it. It seems that the two of them can finally pursue happiness. I just hope that the lady will show mercy. After all, the frozen lettuce is still a child who has not experienced much of the world. Ding, congratulations on collecting all the materials and unlocking the mistletoe ice fairy. Ding, congratulations on unlocking the Mistletoe Ice Fairy and gain 200 experience points and 500 sunlight points. Plant, Mistletoe Ice Fairy. Description, actively control, cause huge damage to zombies in a 3x3 range, and can slow them down. Sunlight. 400 damage. 100, attack interval. 15 seconds, cooling time. 5 seconds, quality, purple. Every Christmas, Mistletoe Ice will bless those kind people, but due to being too careless, she will occasionally accidentally launch an ice bomb and cause a small accident. The high damage and slowing effect of the ice cone make her very effective when dealing with a single target, and at the same time, control all other zombies through the slow effect. Purple plant, Mistletoe Ice Fairy. This plant has some hard to describe instant damage, which can be said to be the highest among all the plants in Su Lin's hands. It is on par with a cherry bomb, and the cherry bomb is a disposable plant that costs 150 sun points. Boom, it's gone. But the Mistletoe Ice Fairy is different. Just plant it in the ground, let it quietly accumulate power, and you can keep attacking. An ice bomb, just smash it. But what can I do? What can I do? 400 sun points are too high. The cost is so high. If it is in zero clearing mode, Su Lin can't afford such a high sun point cost. However, if used properly, it can still produce a terrifying effect. After all, the Mistletoe Ice Fairy is an actively aggressive plant. Su Lin needs to control it, and control its attack position. It is particularly targeted. Su Lin was also very happy to get 3 new plants at one time. There was a happy smile on the corner of his mouth. Strong troops and strong horses. After thinking for a while, Su Lin decided not to carry out plant advancement for the time being. The main plants used are of high grade. There are 3rd level plants everywhere, and 2nd level plants are everywhere. It is better to keep more gold coins, and wait to upgrade the 3rd level plants to 4th level plants. After dealing with these, Su Lin also walked into the house, and prepared to have dinner. Just as he sat down, he received a prompt sound from the system. It said that a stranger broke in. Chapter 114. A guest arrives. Su Lin frowned. He was also surprised. Who is this person who is not afraid of death? Who else would come at this time? Can't you pick a good time to come and die? Must you come at the time when others are eating? The system also directly projected the image of this so-called stranger into Su Lin's mind. Su Lin was stunned. An acquaintance, actually. Li Da. At this time, Li Da was standing outside the farm, while Liang Crossing strode through the farm, and came to the front door. There was a knock on the door, and he pushed it indirectly. Sister Liang Crossing. Su Yue stood up excitedly. Hurry up, we are just having dinner. Ha ha ha, I'm in time. Liang Crossing smiled, and came to Su Lin directly. Let him in, he is also my savior. Su Lin smiled. He knew what it meant without asking. Liang Crossing wanted to invite Li Da to come for dinner. After all, the host is Su Lin, and he must get his permission. Liang Crossing still understands this principle. Oh, how did you know? Liang Crossing raised his eyebrows and shouted to the outside, Li Da, come in. Okay. When he saw Li Da, Su Lin waved his hand and put him on the whitelist. Li Da was able to safely and smoothly pass through the plant circle and came to the front door. You guy. Liang Crossing looked at Su Lin straight. Are there surveillance cameras outside? Ha ha ha, no, it was the plants that tipped me off. Otherwise I wouldn't know the situation outside. Oh, you made me mysterious. Su Lin also stood up and walked towards the door. Li Da, who pushed the door open, also saw Su Lin. See you again. Welcome, welcome. Su Lin greeted repeatedly. He had wanted to invite Li Da to settle in and become his partner before, but they pursued different things. But this can also be regarded as settlement in another sense. Ha ha ha, Li Da laughed. I didn't expect your place is really a paradise. It's rare to have a place like yours in this end times. What? Su Lin joked. Do you regret it? That depends on whether the dishes tonight are rich or not. I shamelessly came here to eat for free. Look at what you said. I just came back to repay you. After that, Su Lin turned around and introduced Li Da to the others. When Su Yue learned that Li Da was a doctor and the doctor who saved Su Lin who was shot and in a critical condition, his eyes lit up. Thank you. Dr. Li Da, Thank you for saving my brother. Of course, you should be a doctor. You are Su Lin's sister, right? You look so similar. After a round of greetings, everyone began to taste the rich and delicious food. Su Yue even added several more hard dishes. Su Lin was confused. It seems that, when he was injured, he didn't get such treatment. After the doctor who treated him came, his salary went up. It was biased. At the same time, Su Lin also received a system notification about the situation of brilliant light. After all, Chen Zun had already moved in, and was considered a partner. What Su Lin didn't expect was that Li Da was also counted. As long as Li Da was still in the house, the brilliant light would also count him when it was running. TSK. Su Lin thought to himself, Li Da shouldn't stay here overnight, so he is just a guest? Then, can't I treat him to more meals in the future? I can get more sunshine points. Su Lin shook his head. He had already thought about who the guests were. It must be the glory of mankind. The two new arrivals. Chen Zun and Li Da. Where have they seen such a scene? The meat and vegetables on the table. That's gold. Their eyes lit up, and their mouths watered. If it weren't for the remaining rationality, I'm afraid they wouldn't even use chopsticks and just use their hands. The rest of the people, that is, Director Liu, Zhang Jiajia and others, showed surprised eyes. Isn't this just an ordinary home-cooked meal? Why do those eyes make it seem like a full banquet? They were feasting so much that they didn't have time to think about table manners or behave like guests in front of others. Director Liu and the others were stunned. In a trance, they seemed to see themselves. When they first came here, wasn't it like this? Wasn't it always like this? After eating and drinking, Li Da burped, looking aggrieved. Wow, I wouldn't have been a doctor earlier. If it weren't for the responsibility of a doctor, I would have put everything aside and come to you. Ha ha ha, chicken mouth. Su Lin rolled his eyes. You are determined to treat others. Although I have many empty rooms here, I didn't reserve your room. Hey. Li Da smiled. You still understand me, indeed. Who told me to wear this big white coat? Although I have no choice, this is also my duty. Then you come on. Liang Crossing is also in your care. There is a good person to take care of. Who bullies you tell me. I will kill you at the first time. When the four eyes met, the two of them also felt joy in their hearts. They remembered the nervousness when they first met and the self-sacrifice to save others. Maybe it's really like what Li Da said. If he was not a doctor, he would have moved in long ago. After dinner, people of similar age also opened up their conversations, chatting about each other. Li Da also changed Su Lin's medicine, although she was almost well. At the same time, he checked everyone in the room, and they were all healthy. It was getting late, and after saying goodbye, Li Da also returned to Chunfeng City. As for Liang Crossing, the base address has not been found yet, and she will continue to live here. After stretching, Su Lin looked at the attribute interface table and began to wait. System: Plants vs. Zombies level, Farm LV19, Plants, Sunflower X35, Pea Shooter X3, Sunshine Points. 6810, Planting Land. 40 Defense Value. 500 over 500, Experience Value. 981 over 1900, Ability, Extraction, Gold Coin Upgrade, Unlocked Plants, Sunflower, Pea Shooter, Vertical Fruit, Potato Bud, Cabbage Shooter, Frozen Lettuce, Torch Stump, Charm Mushroom, Kiwi, Boomerang Shooter, Vegetable Question, Energy Flower, Fire Dragon Grass, Cherry Bomb, Steel Ground Spike. Electric Green Tea, Corn Pitcher, Mistletoe Ice Fairy, Cactus, Unlocked Blueprints, Gold Coins. 3201, Plant Advancement, Pea Shooter, Level 3, Cabbage Shooter, Level 3, Sunflower, Level 2, Kiwi, Level 2, Nuts, Level 3, Frozen Lettuce, Level 3. Vegetable Question, Level 2, Potato Mine, Level 3, Fire Dragon Grass, Level 3, Cherry Bomb, Level 3, Steel Ground Spike, Level 3, Electric Green Tea, Level 3, Brilliant Light, LV2. Who would have thought that this wait would last until 12 o'clock in the middle of the night? Damn it, why hasn't he come yet? Su Lin cursed and looked at the clock. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 115, Waiting in Vain. In the past, there would be a knock, knock, knock at this time. Why hasn't there been a knock today? Anxiously, Su Lin stood up and walked towards the door. Liang Crossing, who was writing in his notebook, noticed his movements. He frowned and looked at Su Lin's back. Knock on the door. No. Su Lin pushed the door open and looked at the dark night in front of him in confusion. It was quiet. Only the sunflowers in front of him were swaying. What the hell? You were so punctual before, but you're late today. Are you coming or not? Just as Su Lin was complaining like this, the system's prompt also came late. Ding, congratulations on clearing the 11th level. Ding, 0 gold coins, 0 sunlight points, 0 experience points. Wait. System. Where are the zombies? Ding, no zombies tonight. Congratulations on saving your head. Su Lin twitched the corners of his mouth and felt very speechless. Indeed. When awakening this system, the prompt he got was that there was a chance of zombies appearing at night. This chance has been happening every day since Su Lin got the system, making Su Lin mistakenly believe that zombies will appear 100%. Every day, Su Lin has become accustomed to it. Now he is being tricked into doing the empty city plan, which has confused Su Lin. After shaking his head, Su Lin walked back to the house disappointedly. Liang Crossing hurriedly asked with concern, "What's wrong?" "No zombies tonight." "That's better. I'm always worried every night, and I don't know when they will disappear." This. Su Lin sighed. It's not good to say. Although the zombies attack, there is a certain probability that Su Lin's head will be bitten off. But, if the zombies don't come, how will Su Lin's farm be upgraded and become stronger? Question mark? Profits are always accompanied by risks. Only by overcoming risks can you get profits. But if this risk doesn't come, then, well, how should I put it? I have a strange feeling about zombies. Although I hate them and have to take risks, if I can defeat them, I can get great benefits. In other words, I can become stronger. I see. Liang Crossing nodded, understanding what Su Lin meant. Then I can only hope that there will be tomorrow. Yeah, I just feel a little uncomfortable. I'm afraid it will mess around, but I'm also afraid it won't come. Su Lin smiled bitterly. Ha ha ha, come on, I'll cook you a midnight snack and rest early. Okay. Su Lin nodded. In this rare peace, Su Lin also habitually came to the door. Looking at the darkness outside, he pushed the door open and sat on the threshold. The breeze came slowly, bringing a burst of coolness. Su Lin stretched his waist and made a rubbing sound. Nicotine burned. It's been a long time since I last saw this peaceful time. So what will happen next? Perhaps because he was used to working hard, Su Lin was a little panicked after a break. It felt like something troublesome would happen tomorrow. Hey, hot oil and scallion noodles. Liang Crossing also cooked a midnight snack, handed it to Su Lin, and sat on the doorstep together. A strange scene appeared. A man and a woman, staying up late at night, squatting on the doorstep, eating hot ramen. It seemed like they were waiting, but they couldn't wait for its delicious. Yeah, Liang Crossing didn't feel much about such praise, but was full of sentimentality. Su Lin also noticed the difference, smiled and said, "As for me, I don't want you to stay here for the rest of your life and make midnight snacks for me every day. This is not the Liang Crossing I know." Su Lin. Liang Crossing pursed his lips. "Just come back more often, when you have time." Su Lin asked back. From your looks, you've encountered difficulties?" "Well, almost. Things are much more difficult than I thought. Refugees are one thing, but thugs are more troublesome. There is no way to investigate who has ulterior motives. These are all acceptable. The lack of food, the construction of the base, and the mutant animals. Everything is difficult at the beginning." Su Lin smiled. Then he told Liang Crossing about the development of human glory in his memory. Although Su Lin didn't know much, he was reborn once after all. He could give Liang Crossing some inspiration from the perspective of a veteran. After listening to Su Lin's suggestions, Liang Crossing's smart pupils were brighter. Wow. How come you are like the worm in my stomach? You know what I'm worried about, and the solution in my mind. Haven't you heard that those who are involved are confused, but those who are not involved can see clearly? You care too much about these things, and you can't see clearly. Yeah. I benefited a lot. No, I have to work overtime. Repeat all the ideas just now. Go. I'm going to sleep first. Su Lin stood up, waved his hand, and took the dishes in. Only Liang Crossing was left to work late at night. Su Lin slept soundly, and slept well until noon. Anyway, he didn't unlock the new plants. He didn't need to go to Chunfeng City, so he took a rest. He came to the first floor, and ate a few bites of food. He also came to the farmland outside the door. When he was eating, he knew it. After knowing that Chen Zeng got up early, he went outside, and started to mess with the plants. Sure enough, Chen Zeng was squatting beside the sunflower planted by Su Lin at this time. He studied it carefully. How is it? Su Lin walked up and asked. Chen Zeng, who was originally concentrating, was disturbed by Su Lin and couldn't react. After recovering, he was extremely excited. It's amazing. I've never seen such a plant. It's amazing. It's very different from ordinary sunflowers. They actually have human feelings, and there are two big cartoon-like eyes on them. It's just a vivid plant. Anthropomorphic plants. Haha, there's something even more amazing. After saying that, Su Lin directly waved his hand and extracted the sunflower. Obtained. A large bag of melon seeds. Nonsense. The sunflower extracted is naturally melon seeds. Seeing the sunflower disappear out of thin air, Chen Zeng was even more shocked. But what shocked him even more was what happened next. Su Lin planted sunflowers again. Seeing a brand new sunflower just breaking out of the soil, Chen Zeng almost peed his pants in fear. What's going on? Impossible. It just grew out after being planted. That's why I said that my manner is magical. Su Lin smiled, and at the same time, he frowned and looked up at the sky. A dark cloud was slowly approaching. The dark cloud was full of crackling lightning. It's strange. It was sunny just now. How come the weather changed so suddenly? Chapter 116 Lei Tao's visit. Is it really magical? Chen Zeng grabbed Su Lin's sleeve excitedly. Of course, this piece of plants is magical. Not only can they attack the enemy autonomously, but they can also extract food. Otherwise, where do you think the food we eat comes from? Will it not be contaminated? This piece of land will not. I don't know about other parts of the manor. Su Lin pointed to the surroundings. In addition to these 40 pieces of land that can be planted, there is also a large piece of land around the entire manor, which is full of weeds. Look at the plants here. Do they need to be maintained? No, they are very healthy. Besides, according to what you said, they are all magical, and I don't know how to take care of them. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, don't touch this piece, and you can plant whatever you want on the other side. Of course, I'm not sure if the plants you plant will be contaminated by radiation. I understand that. Chen Zeng nodded. At the same time, he looked at Su Lin with an extremely admiring look. Perhaps it was because they were both planting plants. The plants planted by Su Lin can be called magic and art, and he is just an ordinary farmer. Su Lin, you are simply the god of plants. Huh. Su Lin was stunned. He didn't expect to be called that. But he also scratched the back of his head and laughed. Haha, maybe. I promise, I will take good care of that piece of land. Then I'll go there now. After saying that, Chen Zeng ran to the side. And Su Yue happened to be there. The two people of opposite ages got along well in an instant. Looking at Su Yue, he found a like-minded person here. Su Lin's mouth also rippled with an auntie smile. TSK. Su Lin shook his head. Others are still running around for a living outside, and here they have already started to consider beautification. With a glance, he saw that the small motorcycle was gone. Su Lin also guessed that Liang Crossing had gone to Chunfeng City. He smiled helplessly and shook his head. I don't know what time I went to bed last night. I'm nowhere to be seen now. I just hope you listened to the advice I gave you last night. You know, the problems you, the glory of humanity, will face in the future are no smaller than mine. After that, Su Lin planned to go back to sleep. Just sleep until night and wait for the zombies to come. But Su Lin frowned again, looking at the dark clouds in the sky in front of him. This dark cloud gave him a very strange feeling. It seemed to come from him. It didn't look like a naturally formed dark cloud. It was as if someone came to him on purpose. Is it the prelude to the coming storm? It's really strange. I don't know anyone who can control dark clouds, especially dark clouds with thunder and lightning. Wait. Su Lin, who seemed to realize something, was suddenly stunned for a moment. Lightning? Could it be? But that's not right. He doesn't know I'm here either. How is it possible? Su Lin, who finally realized something, shouted loudly, Su Yue, Chenzun, you two, hurry up and go into the house. Huh? Why? Su Yue was a little puzzled. Quick, it's going to thunder and rain. You two, hurry up and go in. Director Liu, who was standing at the door watching the show, seemed to realize something and hurriedly stepped forward and grabbed the two young men who were still not satisfied. He dragged them directly into the house. Then, Director Liu also looked at Su Lin. Su Lin nodded. Sure enough, there are some things that only adults can understand. The door was locked. There was no one outside. Su Lin had to relax and welcome this. Dark clouds. Soon. From a distance, Su Lin saw two figures. Although a little blurry, but with his sharp eyesight, he recognized the person next to him at a glance. Wasn't it Yan Wu? Yang Wu, this kid. Still not afraid of death. Running over again. But Su Lin shook his head. I really guessed it. It's the Lightning King, Lei Tao. TSK. Is it necessary? Come all the way from Chaoshu City. Su Lin smacked his lips. When he saw the lightning, he thought of someone. Wasn't it the lightning supernatural, Lei Tao, who called himself the Lightning King? Of course, there were more than just the two of them. There were a lot of people following behind. Judging from the clothes on their bodies, they should be people from Lei Tao's so-called Thunder Eagle Kingdom. Su Lin smiled, walked up slowly, and said loudly, oh, rare guest, rare guest. I didn't expect you to come all the way from Chaoshu City. Ha ha ha. Lei Tao laughed. Come to greet me directly? It seems that you are prepared for my arrival. Besides, you went all the way from Chunfeng City to my Chaoshu City, so why can't I come to see you? It's okay. Su Lin shrugged. Look at the strangeness in the sky. Wow. Dark clouds, thunder and lightning. You can tell who is coming just by thinking with your butt. Ha ha ha. Well said. Lei Tao laughed, and then his face darkened. You are so good, Su Lin. You deceived me so deeply. How did I deceive you? Oh, have you forgotten? Didn't you say you were going to come to me for refuge? And you said you would bring your family with you, so I waited for a while. Oh. Su Lin pretended to be regretful. After thinking about it, my little place is better. There are many people here, so I won't bother you. Lei Tao snorted coldly. It's not just that. There is also your manner. Isn't it enough that you deceived me? It seems. Su Lin grinned. Now we still don't know the purpose of Lei Tao's coming, so we should have a good conversation with him. After confirming his purpose, we can make another decision. It seems that Yan Wu has told you. Yan Wu on the side couldn't help rolling his eyes. Ha ha ha, little brother Yan Wu and I have become good friends. After saying that, Lei Tao even put his hand on Yan Wu's shoulder. Oh. Su Lin, you probably know that Yan Wu also came to me a few days ago, but he was ready to have a big battle. It's a war. It's a war between Chunfeng City and Chaoshu City. Oh. Su Lin also became interested. But it seems that Yan Wu lost. Chapter 117. Discussion. What do you mean I lost? Hearing this, Yan Wu was a little unhappy, shook off Lei Tao's arm, and cursed at Su Lin. It's just a tie. A tie. Haha, it's hilarious. Su Lin laughed. You are like this. If you win, it won't be like this. I'm afraid Lei Tao won. And you? Anyway, I don't know whether it's collusion or better than good. Su Lin sneered. Don't be impatient. Lei Tao waved his hand. Listen to me slowly. But don't you plan to invite us in to sit down? First of all, there are so many of you, and secondly, before I'm sure you are here, it seems inappropriate to let you in for a cup of tea. Ha ha ha. That's right. Lei Tao laughed. Then he roughly told the story. Yan Wu went straight to Lei Tao for trouble in order to expand his power. The battle process was extremely hot. Various thunder and fire mixed together, and the fight was so mediocre. In the end, Lei Tao won. But Lei Tao didn't intend to do anything to Yan Wu. Lei Tao's idea was similar to Su Lin's. Let Yan Wu live, at least to ensure that the people of his Vulcan fortress had a way to survive. For Lei Tao, the people of the Vulcan fortress, he looked down on them. They were not even prisoners. They could only be called gluttons. Waste to eat for free. It's better not to keep them in the way. However, to defeat Yan Wu, naturally, you have to get some spoils. The spoils are information. Yan Wu directly confessed the situation in Chunfeng City, including Su Lin. Hearing the word Su Lin, Lei Tao thought he had heard it wrong. After all, he really liked Su Lin at that time. He planned to give Su Lin a position after he joined him. But he waited and waited. He couldn't wait for Su Lin. He even regretted not sending his subordinates to follow Su Lin to protect Su Lin's safety. And now, after describing Su Lin's appearance, Lei Tao immediately confirmed that the Su Lin he knew was the same person as the Su Lin Yan Wu mentioned. He obviously had a manor, a lot of supplies, and the ability to fight, but he pretended to be a poor man. It was infuriating to think about it. That's why Lei Tao asked Yan Wu to lead the way to meet Su Lin. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, Su Lin laughed. It's fate. What? Lei Tao raised his eyebrows, not knowing what Su Lin meant for a moment. Think about it. Why did I go to find you? It's because I heard about you from Yan Wu. Why did you know I was here? It was also from Yan Wu. Ha ha ha. That's right. That's right. Lei Tao laughed. It turns out that this Yan Wu is a matchmaker. Yan Wu on the side couldn't help rolling his eyes. Hey, 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 no matter what, I'm also the leader of the Vulcan fortress. Have you considered my feelings when you talk like this? You still say? Lei Tao rolled his eyes. Didn't you tell many people about Su Lin's affairs? Huh? Su Lin, the person involved, was shocked. What does this mean? Helping him find a marriage partner? You say it yourself. I also admire your mouth. Lei Tao pushed Yan Wu. Yan Wu shrugged and said with a little apology, well, actually, I have told the superpowers in other cities through many channels that there is a manor in Chunfeng City which has unlimited supplies. The man is called Su Lin. Su Lin twitched his mouth. Thank you so much. Yan Wu scratched his head embarrassedly. I know I can't beat you, so I plan to let others teach you a lesson, but I didn't think I would meet you again. Why don't you die? Su Lin rolled his eyes. What does it mean? If you can't beat them, leak your information. Let others come and beat you? Su Lin also remembered the feeling of being monitored when facing the army before. It seems that those superpowers who have obtained the information are observing themselves through their own superpowers. Su Lin threw a cold eye. If possible, he just wants to develop in a low-key manner and try not to have too much contact with the outside world. Now, Yan Wu has done this to me. If I had known, I shouldn't have spared your life. Yan Wu, why didn't you know why I didn't kill you at that time? If I didn't pity those people in your Vulcan fortress, do you really think you could meet Lei Tao? Ha 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 ha. If you ask me, let's just forget about this matter. Lei Tao waved his hand. Anyway, it has been leaked out. You just need to be careful in the future. At most, it's just a warning to others. And I think Yan Wu won't do this again in the future, and won't bother you again. It's hard to say. Didn't he bring you here? Su Lin smiled with narrowed eyes. In the end, Lei Tao has not yet said his purpose. Ha ha ha. Obviously, Lei Tao intends to fool around with this matter. After waving his hand, he continued, Su Lin, I really like you from the first sight. At that time, I even had someone escort you out of Chaoshu City. At the same time, I also took good care of Kangxin. That young man had food and drink in Chaoshu City. Oh, and then, you came all the way here. There must be a reason. After all, you are the boss of the Thunder Eagle Kingdom. Then I'll be frank, I still miss you so much. Ahem, brother, I'm a man. No, Lei Tao waved his hands repeatedly. I mean, I still want to win you over to join my Thunder Eagle Kingdom. What if I refuse? After all, I'm not the kind of person who will obey. Then how about we have a competition first? Then I'll tell you my purpose. Huh. Su Lin raised his eyebrows. Unexpectedly. I didn't expect there is such a thing as competition. Okay, but swords have no eyes, and you have so many people. What do you say? One-on-one. Just you and me, and I just want to see what you are capable of. Are you planning to see my strength, and whether I can cooperate with you? Haha, just don't say it out loud if you see through it. Okay. Su Lin smiled. As long as it's not a life and death duel, he has no problem. He is not a murderer. But, although it's a one-on-one duel, you should know, right? I have to be with my plants. Chapter 118, Lightning Power. Okay, no problem. I know that. Lei Tao nodded. Then, he looked at his men behind him and said, you all, step down. I'll take care of the rest. Yes, my lord. The men Lei Tao led were obviously much better than those in the Vulcan fortress. They were well organized and well trained. It was obvious that Lei Tao was ruling the country entirely by force. Unlike Yan Wu, that little thug. Although Yan Wu called himself the leader, he was just using his own abilities to do evil. No wonder. Flame versus lightning. It was the flame that was defeated in the end. Then, Su Lin, let's do it. Just stop at a certain point, and I hope that no one of us will get hurt. Injury is inevitable. As long as no one dies, it's fine. Su Lin grinned. Hey, sure enough, you, as always, let me admire you. Then please get ready. Okay. After all, it was a sparring match. Su Lin was also happy to be relaxed. With a snap of his fingers, he first extracted all the plants in the 6th, 7th and 8th rows. Then, he planted 5 sunflowers on the 6th row. As for the 7th row, there was no need to think about it. All of them were torch crowns. Let's use this flame P combination attack first, and try it on Lei Tao first. Seeing the plants disappearing in an instant, and then reappearing out of thin air with a bang. Not only Lei Tao, but also the people of the Thunder Eagle Kingdom were stunned. This is probably not magic. Yan Wu nodded and complained in his heart. Damn, this is it. I was defeated by this trick. What a crazy plant. Then I won't be polite. Be prepared to get hurt. Su Lin grinned and directly set Lei Tao to the blacklist. The blacklist was set successfully. Lei Tao happened to be within the attack range of the pea shooter. The pea shooter immediately sprayed out many peas. When the pea touched the torch crown, it turned into a flame pea. It whizzed away and burned the entire air. Seeing these flaming peas, Lei Tao was not in a hurry. He waved his hand and the lightning sizzled. With a sizzle, it turned into a lightning barrier. When the flaming pea touched the lightning barrier, it was burned and turned into ashes. TSK. Su Lin smacked his lips. Not bad. But the pea shooter will attack continuously. Lei Tao shrugged and continued to wave his arms, turning into an uninterrupted lightning barrier. He swiped his left hand and continued to slide his right hand. With this continuously generated lightning barrier, he killed the flaming peas that were coming towards him. As both of us are superpowers, although lightning and fire are different, it seems that your attainments in the use of superpowers are far beyond what Yan Wu can catch up with. Not bad. Lei Tao shrugged. Since you have almost done the test, I will also start to attack. After that, Lei Tao snapped his fingers and a small thunder dragon whizzed away from his fingertips. Su Lin quickly planted nuts in the area of the 8th row peng. When the small thunder dragon hit the nut, it only left a dark layer of burn marks on it. Then, the small thunder dragon turned into white smoke and disappeared. Oh. Can it withstand my lightning? Not bad. What is this plant called? Nuts. It is the most defensive plant here. The strongest defense? It just so happens that my lightning can be said to be the strongest spear. So let's do this next. Lei Tao raised his hands. Lightning rushed out directly from his body. Then, it turned into a lightning ball. It directly wrapped Lei Tao inside. No matter how the flame pea attacked, it could not break through this lightning ball. This was normal. When the flame pea touched this lightning ball, it would be entangled by countless lightnings, and the surging lightning would directly extinguish the flame pea. After gaining absolute safety, Lei Tao raised his hands and pointed his palms at the sky. Countless lightnings began to gather in his palms as he shouted. Lightning soared up, rushed to the sky, exploded to the horizon. Take my move. Thunder and lightning. When the soaring lightning touched the dark clouds, it seemed to have taken a power pill. It accumulated more lightning power. Then it fell directly towards the nut. Su Lin rolled his eyes and complained. What's the thunder? It sounds like it's a skill name, isn't it? Just because his own ability is thunder and lightning that he can control it like this? He was also preparing to continue planting nuts. With a wave of his hand, he directly planted nuts in all the remaining 4 areas. The thunder and lightning roared down, as if it had turned into a beast, and bit the first nut in one bite. Peng. With one bite, it bit the nut off. Seeing such a second kill, Su Lin was also stunned. It really deserves to be the strongest spear. However, because of the death of the nut, it also triggered the nutshell shattering. It directly repelled the thunder beast. The thunder beast was shaken back into the air and lost its initial momentum. But it continued to attack the second nut. 1 bite. 2 bites. It ate the third nut again. At the same time, it triggered a nutshell shattering. The thunder beast that was shaken off again obviously lost its initial momentum, and even its size became much smaller. However, under Lei Tao's control, it also launched attacks on the nuts again and again without hesitation. In the end, when the thunder beast turned into ashes, it actually ate 7 nuts in succession. Damn it. Lei Tao twitched his mouth. Su Lin, you are cheating. What's wrong with me? Su Lin yawned and pinched his ears. You cheated. Damn, you can keep planting plants infinitely. This is not fair. You can use thunder and lightning. So what am I? Su Lin rolled his eyes. Just be happy secretly. When the army came to trouble me before, they couldn't defeat my nut troops, no matter how hard they tried, but you destroyed a lot of them. What? Are you going to surrender? Anyway, we are just sparring, so it's better to stop at a certain point. No. Lei Tao shook his head and then showed a proud look. If you want to admit defeat, you should admit defeat. You have to be careful. Next, I will not show mercy. After that, Lei Tao waved his arms and made a shaking arm action. At the same time, he made the same gesture of summoning lightning just now. The lightning roared up and hit the sky. When the lightning fell again, Su Lin was also stunned. Because this time the place where the lightning fell was not here, but Lei Tao himself. Countless lightning roared down and hit Lei Tao. Chapter 119. Flame Dragon, Lightning Dragon, Duel of 2 Dragons. When the smoke dissipated, only Lei Tao was left, who was covered in lightning. At this time, Lei Tao's shirt was blown off. His tendons were exposed, and his body became bigger. Countless small lightnings surrounded him. Even his hair seemed to be blown off half, turning into small lightnings, rising up. What was even more terrifying was that his pupils turned into cataracts. He was filled with an indescribable sense of oppression. Thunder Dragon. Lei Tao shouted. A dragon, really a dragon, appeared. A dragon falling from the sky. A dragon made of lightning. TSK. This Lei Tao. Su Lin smacked his lips. They were both superpowers. This Lei Tao could turn lightning into a dragon, a powerful creature that only appeared in legends. And what about Yan Wu? He was still holding the flame as a fireball. But Yan Wu was also stunned at this time. When he had troubled Lei Tao before, he had not seen Lei Tao use this trick. If he had used this trick, the victory or defeat would have been decided immediately. How many tricks does Lei Tao have? Yan Wu shook his head. I'm really arrogant. If Lei Tao had not shown mercy, I would have died long ago. Damn, we are all superpowered people. Why am I so weak? Then, Lei Tao jumped directly onto the Thunder Dragon. He rode the Thunder Dragon and slowly came towards Su Lin. No matter how hard the flame P tried, when it was launched and about to touch Lei Tao, it would be electrocuted into ashes by the lightning on his body. Su Lin raised his eyebrows, first retreated repeatedly, and then waved his hand to extract all the sunflowers. Plants with long-range attack capabilities were planted directly. When the plants landed and broke through the ground, they directly launched the most violent offensive against Lei Tao, who was on the blacklist. But there was still no way to break through the defense of thunder and lightning. Lei Tao was even more exaggerated, jumping directly from the thunder dragon. It hit the ground heavily. It left a deep pit full of thunder on the ground. Then, Lei Tao came heavily, and when he trampled on the ground, there were thunder and lightning. He rushed up with a fierce and ferocious step. He swung his fist with thunder and lightning, and with a bang, he directly broke the nut. The death of the nut and the shell shattering only shook Lei Tao a few meters away. Lei Tao shook his hands and offset the aftermath of the explosion. "That's it? Let's see how I continue to break through your defense." After saying that, Lei Tao continued to rush forward without hesitation. With the fist, he hit the nut again. While killing it instantly, he also reacted quickly and raised his hands to block his chest to resist the aftermath of the shell-shattering explosion. Ha ha ha. That's it? Su Lin, you continue to plant, and I continue to attack. Su Lin rolled his eyes. He also knew that it would be impossible to defeat Lei Tao with just the attack of plants. Then, Lei Tao, maybe you think this is my full strength, but Su Lin saw Yan Wu from a distance. He immediately came up with a plan. He planted the fire dragon grass directly. Lei Tao, what's the matter? Are you going to give up? Question mark? No, are you disappointed with the flame used by Yan Wu? Ha ha ha. Flame. Compared with my lightning? That's just a dream. Okay, then I will give the flame a good name now. Oh. Before Lei Tao could react to what was going on, Su Lin threw the golden beans on the fire dragon grass. In an instant, the heat wave swept in. It came with a roar. It seemed that even the surrounding air was melted. Lei Tao was completely confused by the sudden heat wave. He retreated repeatedly, and before he knew what was happening, he saw a beautiful fire dragon rising into the sky. And standing on the fire dragon was Su Lin. Oh, you can also control fire. Lei Tao was shocked. He thought that Su Lin's ability, or his ability, was just to grow plants, but he didn't expect that he could also control fire. Not just fire. Hey, if you use golden beans on the fire dragon grass, it will be like this. Su Lin can freely control the current fire dragon. It's like a fight between the same kind. When seeing this fire dragon, Lei Tao's lightning dragon, it made waves of dragon roars. The fire dragon, not willing to be outdone, made a roar that shook the sky. Then come on, let's see whose dragon is stronger. After that, Lei Tao jumped onto the lightning dragon without hesitation and rushed towards Su Lin. Su Lin is not just this fire dragon. Let Lei Tao show off in the sky. The plants on the ground would not let him go. The pea shooter raised his head and sprayed it continuously. Although the flame pea had not been able to break through Lei Tao's lightning defense, it was visibly going one step further than before. Damn it. Lei Tao also found something wrong. These plants, will they ever be finished? Even if some are eliminated, they can be planted again. If the war of attrition is not going to continue, there is absolutely no way to continue. We must fight quickly. To catch a thief, catch the king first. Lei Tao made up his mind and dived into the sky. Su Lin also controlled the flame dragon and soared straight up. Two dragons duel. Flames and thunders were sprayed from the mouths of each dragon. Boom. The two surging energies produced a violent explosion at the moment of collision. When the smoke gradually dissipated, all he saw was a raging flame breaking through the air. After swallowing up the power of thunder, although its power was somewhat weakened, it still rushed towards Lei Tao with a raging rage. Peng. The attack was successful. The thunder dragon was beaten back again and again. Damn it, my thunder and lightning, how could it lose to the flame? There is nothing wrong. Su Lin drove the flame dragon and rushed directly to Lei Tao. Yan Wu is Yan Wu. It's me. Surrender? The flame dragon had opened its bloody mouth, and in its big mouth, rolling flames were accumulating. The one who doesn't surrender is you. Thunder gun. Just see. Lei Tao stretched out his right hand, closed his three fingers, revealing his index and middle fingers, and waved them wantonly, pointing at Su Lin. Xiu. A huge spear made of thunder and lightning sprang out from the ground, stabbed the flame dragon. The flame dragon let out a painful wail. Before it was defeated by the lightning spear, the flame dragon also fought back, opened its bloody mouth, and ate the lightning dragon in front of it. Woo. The two dragons fought and fell directly from the sky. Su Lin. Go to hell. Lei Tao jumped up from the Thunder Dragon, waving his Thunder Fist, and punching Su Lin. Chapter 120 Summoning, Thunder. Su Lin, standing on the back of the Flame Dragon, took a step back calmly. He could feel it. After swallowing the Thunder Gun, the life of the Flame Dragon was rapidly dissipating. Moreover, he also felt that the situation of the Lightning Dragon was not much better. Moreover, since the Lightning Dragon was summoned by Lei Tao through his own power, once the Lightning Dragon died, it would probably bring backlash to Lei Tao. The Flame Dragon was transformed from the Fire Dragon grass. It had no effect on Su Lin. As long as Su Lin could hold on, it would be fine. Coward. Don't run away. Lei Tao swung his leg directly, but Su Lin dodged it easily. With a stumble, Lei Tao almost fell off the dragon's back. After all, at this time, both of them were on the rapidly descending dragon's back. It was good to be able to keep balance and stand. However, Su Lin looked relaxed. Even at the moment, when Lei Tao lost his balance, he seized this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and swept his leg past. Lei Tao was utterly humiliated. Damn it, come again. He rolled and jumped. Lei Tao, who stood up again, swung his fist directly. Su Lin was not afraid to fight him head-on. The two fists collided. Although poor Su Lin was directly blown away by the power of thunder and lightning, Lei Tao was definitely not in a good situation. The bone veins in his fist were dislocated. Pain came instantly. Lei Tao, who was in pain, hugged his fist in pain. It hurts. It hurts. How strong is Su Lin? I'm afraid the bones inside are broken. Looking at his swollen palm, Lei Tao gritted his teeth in hatred. Hey, Su Lin stood up slowly. How about the power of my fist? If you don't use the power of thunder and lightning, you are not my opponent in a melee. Su Lin, who was numb all over and coughed repeatedly after being electrocuted, could not hold on any longer. But we still have to save some face. Indeed. Lei Tao nodded. I admit that I'm definitely not your opponent in a hand-to-hand fight, but, sorry, I'm a superpower. Or thunder and lightning superpower. Just see. Lei Tao directly controlled the thunder and lightning to attach to his feet this time. He sprinted hard and disappeared. The next moment, he had appeared behind Su Lin. This is the super explosive power formed by borrowing the power of thunder and lightning. In a trance, it was instant movement. Su Lin, who couldn't react, turned around, but also saw Lei Tao's hand knife wrapped in thunder and lightning, close at hand. Damn, if he takes this move head on, I'm afraid Su Lin will have to lie in bed for several days. At the critical moment, the two dragons, with a bang, fell to the ground. Because of the violent vibration, the two of them were directly shaken away. Just as the two fell to the ground, the two dragons turned into starlight and disappeared. Puff as the lightning dragon disappeared, Lei Tao spit out a mouthful of blood. He stood up with difficulty, his face extremely embarrassed. Peng. A flaming pea whistled away. This time, taking advantage of Lei Tao's extreme weakness, the flaming pea finally broke through the lightning barrier attached to Lei Tao. Lei Tao, who was hit by the flaming pea, retreated several steps to ease the impact. But there must be more than one flaming pea. One after another, the flaming peas came one after another. Lei Tao, who was already exhausted and consumed too much, had no choice but to start avoiding the sharp edge. Lei Tao, Su Lin, who was a little injured, was also a little out of breath. Didn't you say that we should spar with each other? Just stop at a certain point. It's like this. Can you continue? Don't worry about it. I can do it. Lei Tao said viciously. He kept moving forward while dodging the attacks of the plants. At this time, it was more for the sake of fighting for his dignity. After all, there were so many people following him. If he lost like this, where would he put his face? Question mark? Su Lin raised his eyebrows and immediately understood what Lei Tao meant. However, he, Su Lin, couldn't just lose like this. Then, let's fight to our heart's content. On the edge of one of the open spaces, Su Lin directly planted the electric green tea. It was fate. If Su Lin hadn't gone to find Lei Tao before and forcibly ate his lightning attack, I'm afraid there would be no electric green tea plant. When the electric green tea broke out of the ground, it did not attack Lei Tao. After all, Lei Tao had not yet entered its attack range. And the reason why Su Lin wanted to plant it was only for one purpose. To use it on the electric green tea, the golden bean. There is nothing better than this to kill people and destroy their hearts. Su Lin wanted to use the lightning power in the same way, to let Lei Tao know that he was not the only one in the world who possessed the lightning power. Come to think of it, I hadn't tried it yesterday. I don't know what the ultimate move of electric green tea is now. If you use energy beans, electric green tea will summon lightning that sizzles and attack all zombies. What if it is golden beans? Thinking of this, Su Lin was also full of curiosity and expectation. And just when he used the golden beans on the electric green tea, not to mention Su Lin himself, Lei Tao in front of him was stunned. His feet became weak and sore. He raised his head in fear and looked at the dark clouds in the sky. Above the dark clouds, dazzling lightning energy was sizzling and accumulating. The reason why Lei Tao was terrified. First, because this lightning energy was far better than his own. Second, because he was not using the lightning power now. Who was using and controlling this lightning? How could it be possible that in addition to controlling fire, Su Lin Yue, Lei Tao's pupils widened, and he looked at Su Lin in horror, as if he felt Lei Tao's sight. Su Lin grinned, and he nodded solemnly towards Lei Tao. It was as if he was telling him the cruel truth. Su Lin slowly raised his hand. When he was using the golden beans with electric green tea, he knew its ultimate ability. Summoning thunder. Yes, it's that simple. It can summon 7 thunders that fall from the sky. Then this is the first one. Su Lin shook his hand heavily, from top to bottom, and swung it to the ground. And the dark cloud that brought people an absolute pressure seemed to respond to Su Lin. A thick thunder and lightning fell from the sky. Boom. It hit directly next to Lei Tao. It smashed a huge deep pit in the ground. Lei Tao swallowed his saliva. If he hadn't missed the target just now, he would have been dead. He couldn't dodge at such a fast speed. Just when Lei Tao had accepted his fate and was ready to surrender, Su Lin yawned and said, "No more playing, no more playing. I can't beat you. I admit defeat. You win, Lei Tao." Chapter 121, Su Lin, choose to admit defeat. Ha. Lei Tao was stunned. But Su Lin had already snapped his fingers. The dark clouds in the sky then dissipated. The dark clouds disappeared, no longer able to block the sky's brilliant light. The sun, which was able to see the sun again, sprinkled its gentleness on the earth. Su Lin extracted the plants in front of him and replanted the sunflower. He walked towards Lei Tao, who was still stunned. "What? I have admitted defeat. Can I cancel the lightning on you? It's weird and numb." Su Lin Yue. Lei Tao frowned, not knowing why Su Lin did this. "Hey!" Su Lin shouted to the front. This shout was for the people of the Thunder Eagle Kingdom to hear. "I admit defeat. Your boss won." After a moment of silence, everyone cheered. "Thunder King! Thunder King! Thunder King!" Su Lin Yue. Lei Tao frowned even more. "Even if the power of thunder and lightning can only be used once, you can still defeat me. Why do you do this, Lei Tao?" Su Lin smiled and lowered his voice. "I said, let's spar and stop when it's done. It's almost the same. There's no need for me to kill you, and there's no need to embarrass you in front of my men. Right?" This Lei Tao swallowed his saliva and didn't know what to say for a while. "Okay." Su Lin patted Lei Tao on the shoulder. "It was agreed at the beginning. It's just a sparring. There's no need to decide the winner." Although Su Lin showed a smile. But this smile, in Lei Tao's view, is more like a kind of threat. Of course. In any case, Su Lin still has the last golden bean left. Even if Yan Wu wants to come together, it's not a problem. The principle of forgiving others when you can. Su Lin still understands, but only when the opponent is scared can he think about this aspect. That's why Su Lin used the power green tea's ultimate move to kill people. Lei Tao could only smile bitterly and said weakly, "Thank you. You're welcome. It's my duty." "Who asked you to bring so many people? I can't kill you." "Ha ha ha, that's right. The Thunder Eagle Kingdom is also in the starting stage, so I won't destroy your confidence." "Well, now that the competition is ready, can you tell me what you mean?" Okay. Lei Tao nodded helplessly. "Wait, let me guess. It's called a test, but in fact, it's to see how strong I am." If you can, don't say anything, just kill me and take away all the supplies. If you find that I'm strong, seek cooperation. What I said, right? Su Lin smiled. But even Su Lin himself didn't expect it. As soon as the voice fell, Lei Tao's face turned black. Su Lin, if I'm such a person in your heart, then I will leave. Huh, isn't it? Look at what you did in Chaoshu City. This. Lei Tao was embarrassed when his shortcomings were exposed, but he was still serious. I'm serious. I have always admired you. I have never thought about destroying you. The reason why I brought a large group of brothers here was just to see the situation in Chunfeng City. If possible, I would like to grab some things and take them back. And the sparring with you was just to see how strong you are. Since you left and never came back, I knew that your heart was still here. I won't force it, but I just want to make sure that the people I admire have the self-protection ability. Of course, I also have a large group of people to support. If possible, I still want to seek cooperation. Seeing Lei Tao so serious, Su Lin also smiled awkwardly. Hahaha, sorry, I misunderstood. No, I have to thank you for letting me save face in front of my subordinates. Just saying that. Su Lin shrugged. How many people did you bring? A few dozen. Come on, come in and sit down and talk in detail. Okay. Lei Tao nodded and then waved his hand. The subordinates behind him also ran over. Su Lin stared straight at Yan Wu, who ran over with him. Yan Wu was really embarrassed to be stared at by Su Lin. He scratched the back of his head in shame. Su Lin, I told you. You have also taught me a lesson, and I know I was wrong, so. Damn it. Su Lin rolled his eyes. How did you leak my information? Take it back immediately and say that there is no one like me in this world anymore. Don't let them bother me again. Thank you. Okay. Hahaha. Yan Wu nodded repeatedly, trying to express his apology in this way. Let's go. Su Lin waved his hand. Lei Tao and Yan Wu were stunned for a moment and said in unison that. The two looked at each other, obviously a little scared. But Lei Tao was the first to speak. Will your plants continue to attack us? I'm a little scared. It's okay. Since they were invited to sit in, Su Lin had already set them up as a whitelist. There is absolutely no problem with entering and leaving. Let's go. Seeing that Su Lin said so, the two stopped wasting time and followed Su Lin directly into the room. Lei Tao, who was deeply impressed by the beating of the plants just now, still felt extremely flustered when he saw the plants around him suddenly quiet down. He could never have imagined that the plants that were so fierce just now would be so quiet now. After finally suppressing the fear in their hearts, the two finally stepped over the threshold and walked into the house. The subordinates behind him, who had just seen these ferocious plants, also put on a cautious expression. Following Lei Tao and Yan Wu, he stepped into the threshold. Before Su Lin could speak to introduce himself, the system prompt came. Ding, currently, the radiance is 10/10, and 100 sunlight points are provided every minute. After a moment of confusion, the bad news came. Ding, currently, the radiance is 11/10, no more sunlight points are produced, and 100 sunlight points are deducted every 30 minutes. Oh my god. Ding, currently, the radiance is 12/10, no more sunlight points are produced, and 100 sunlight points are deducted every 15 minutes. Wait a minute. Ding, currently, the radiance is 12/10, no more sunlight points are produced, and 100 sunlight points are deducted every 15 minutes. Ding, currently, the radiance is 13/10, no more sunlight points are produced, and every 10 minutes, 100 sunlight points are deducted. Time waits for no one. As more people enter, the sunlight points deducted from the radiance are increasing. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 122. What is the purpose? Su Lin wouldn't care about that. Wait. You, and the people behind you, all go out and wait. Su Lin was so anxious that he kept nodding his head. His men were stunned. Why did he ask people to come in and have tea at the beginning, but now it's like this? However, Lei Tao was still quick to react. He just glanced at them, those who were named, and the men who had not yet come, and immediately turned around and left. There was no complaint at all. What's going on? Lei Tao was a little cautious, not knowing what Su Lin was crazy. It's okay. Su Lin waved his hand. Ding, currently, the radiance is 10/10, and every minute, 100 sunlight points are provided. Hearing this, Su Lin finally breathed a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, when too many people enter, this will happen directly. Although Su Lin knew that, if there are too many people, sunlight points will start to be deducted. But he didn't expect it to be so exaggerated. Fortunately, he stopped the loss in time. Seeing Lei Tao's confused expression, Su Lin casually said, "The 8 characters are not compatible. The 8 characters are not compatible." Huh. Lei Tao was stunned. What does this mean? Is there such a thing as 8 characters? But seeing Su Lin's serious expression, Lei Tao had no choice but to accept this statement. Come on, introduce yourself. Su Lin waved his hand and introduced Lei Tao and Yan Wu to the other partners one by one. The most embarrassed person here is Zhang Jiajie. After all, he was a member of the Vulcan Fortress before. Now seeing the leader again, he was so embarrassed that he started to tap his toes. Are you Zhang Jiajie? Yan Wu raised his eyebrows. Subconsciously, he wanted to put on a condescending expression. But he also quickly realized that this was Su Lin's territory and he should restrain himself. Besides, Zhang Jiajie was no longer on his side. And Zhang Jiajie also showed an awkward smile, nodded, and stepped aside to avoid letting the air continue to be filled with this layer of embarrassment. After learning that Lei Tao and Yan Wu were both superpowers, everyone was surprised. Superpowers were only in the legend, and now seeing 2 of them, they were naturally shocked. Why don't you observe first? Then cook something to eat together. The brothers outside will work harder. The food will be sent out after it is cooked. Su Lin smiled happily. For the full radiance at this time. 1 minute, 100 points of sunlight. I don't know why. Plants like sunflowers should be more excited and more sun facing during the day and produce more sunlight points. But the sunflower during the day can be said to have extremely low working efficiency. It takes a long time to produce sunlight points. Compared with the efficiency when zombies attack at night, it is simply a world of difference. So during the day, Su Lin basically relies on radiance to produce sunlight points. Now it is finally full. For the first time, I have experienced the fierceness of radiance when it is full. Su Lin was already very happy. He was totally unaware of the shock in Lei Tao and Yan Wu's hearts. From the outside, this was just a mansion and estate. In the past peaceful times, such a place could be owned by money. But now, in the troubled times, everything has changed. There are still mansions and villas, but they have long been attacked by thugs and have become dilapidated. Yan Wu is from Chunfeng City after all. Half a year ago, he came to this area. At that time, there was no manor. In just half a year, such a manor was built. That's fine. Everything inside is complete and well organized. It has already melted the hearts of the 2. They felt as if they had returned to the peaceful time when nothing happened. Okay, let's eat. Oh. The 2 nodded repeatedly, like a child, and followed Su Lin's instructions, and sat on the dining table with several men from the Thunder Eagle Kingdom. If the orderliness of the manor house gave them an illusion, the delicious food in front of them was what they thought. At this moment, it was still the time that everyone missed so much. Eat. Why are you standing there? By the way, Lei Tao, you have to ask these men to take the food to the people outside, and I won't go out. Oh. Lei Tao nodded dully, and then looked at the men beside him tremblingly. Go quickly, do you hear me? Oh, yes, okay, boss. The men who were called nodded hesitantly, and left the table reluctantly. Until he pushed the door open and walked out, he was still reluctant to leave, looking at the big meal on the table with nostalgia. Okay, wipe your saliva quickly, and after eating, go back to where you came from. Su Lin rolled his eyes. To feed such a large group of people, he had to waste a lot of plants. After getting the host's approval, These guests finally let go, and the way they ate. They must be reincarnated ghosts who died of starvation. As for Su Lin and his companions, they gradually got used to this scene, and could even say that they were used to it. No matter who it was, they were not reserved when they came here to eat for the first time. Eat first. Looking at the way several people ate, Su Lin couldn't help rolling his eyes. When they were full and burped repeatedly, Su Lin said slowly, "Are you full?" "Yeah." Lei Tao nodded. "Su Lin, am I dead? This place must be heaven." "You're overthinking." Su Lin rolled his eyes. "This is my territory." The burp is also a joke. "Ah, I'm finally full. Not only is it delicious, but I don't feel sick after eating it. Not bad, not bad." Lei Tao touched his bulging stomach, feeling unsatisfied. "That's good." Su Lin shrugged. "Sit in the living room." "Yeah." Lei Tao and Yan Wu looked at each other for a moment. They saw the same answer in their eyes. Just now, in a trance, it seemed like they had returned to that peaceful period. This place is a paradise. No matter how much it costs, they want to stay here. "Sit down and have some tea." Su Lin waved his hand. The so-called tea leaves are extracted from electric green tea. After drinking a cup of hot tea, the feeling of being too full was alleviated. Then Su Lin said directly, "Tell me the purpose of your visit." Yan Wu said directly, "Can I move in?" Chapter 123 Cooperation. "No." Su Lin refused without hesitation. "I won't waste my words. It's impossible for so many people to live here. For me, something bad will happen." "Yang Wu, you can't come in alone. Not to mention that I hate you. The most important thing is, if you come in, what about your Vulcan fortress? What about those people who depend on you?" Yang Wu, who was speechless by Su Lin, lowered his head, as if he was asking for trouble. His face was full of embarrassment. He also knew that Su Lin would never take him in. But such delicious food and such a safe place to live. It made him dizzy. At this moment, he even envied his former believer Zhang Jiajie. At least, Zhang Jiajie, who was driven out by Yan Wu, definitely lived a better life than himself. Yan Wu can't do it, so naturally I can't do it either. Lei Tao shrugged. Hearing this, Su Lin smiled and asked back, "Then, Lei Tao, what if I invite you? What if I only invite you in?" Without a moment's hesitation, Lei Tao shook his head and said, "I refuse. I know that you can't give up your Thunder Eagle Kingdom, and you can't let yourself down here." "Ha ha ha, that's good to know. Okay, I won't talk nonsense." Lei Tao laughed and took a deep breath. He looked straight at Su Lin. "Su Lin, let's cooperate." "How to cooperate? I know you need the food here, but what do I need from you?" Lei Tao was stunned. He didn't expect that Su Lin would be so direct. Indeed, his purpose of coming here this time was just this. For food. In order to be able to feed his Thunder Eagle Kingdom with enough food. "This beauty? A lot of beauties?" Lei Tao asked tentatively. Su Lin shrugged and said, "No, if I really need a woman, I can go to Chunfeng City to find one myself." "That's right. What about gold?" "Let's not talk about it now. Money is the most useless thing. If I really have a collecting habit, I can rob it myself, right?" Su Lin was just showing off. He can only exert his full strength here on the farm. He knows what will happen if he leaves the farm. Once he leaves the farm, he will face superpowers like Lei Tao and Yan Wu. He has no chance of winning. Now he is just fooling Lei Tao. The trump card must be covered up after all. It is called a trump card if it is not seen by others. After hesitating for a moment, Lei Tao continued, "What about the sense of security?" Ahem. Su Lin rolled his eyes and signaled with his eyes. "I just admitted defeat just to save your face. What's the matter? Do you really think you are my opponent?" Lei Tao also noticed it from Su Lin's eyes. He immediately scratched his head with an awkward smile. "Then tell me yourself. Tell me what you want. Besides, I don't know the supply situation here. So, when you came, you didn't think of the conditions?" Lei Tao was even more embarrassed. "When I came for your supplies. As for the benefits I gave you, I wanted to see if you still needed anything. You really deserve to be the Thunder King." Su Lin shook his head. "Let me tell you this. What do you think I lack? Or, in such a world, what do I lack? Nothing." Lei Tao nodded solemnly. Lei Tao was just plundering the food that he could plunder. Not to mention that these ready-made foods have been somewhat contaminated. These foods are consumables after all, and there will always be a day when they are eaten up. In order to feed the people of the Thunder Eagle Kingdom, Lei Tao had to constantly launch invasions, capture cities one after another, and plunder supplies everywhere. But in this way, the number of people will only grow stronger, and with it comes more food, but also more mouths. At least Yan Wu will not have such a problem. His flames can burn away the pollution to a certain extent. This is also the reason why Lei Tao spared Yan Wu at that time. The two of them naturally made a deal behind the scenes. What is the most important thing in this world now? Food and water resources. If you want to survive, you can only use your own advantages to exchange for these things. Whether it is force, intelligence, or status, or even beauty. As long as it can be exchanged, it's fine. This Lei Tao smiled awkwardly. Then I don't know how to deal with it. Ha ha ha. Why do you have to come to exchange with me? Lei Tao was stunned. I mean, I can provide it for free. Su Lin blinked. Su Lin. Lei Tao swallowed his saliva, his eyes full of uncertainty. He had never expected that Su Lin would say that. What? Is there a problem? But your material resources. That's all I can say. Su Lin lowered his voice and said, I can produce, theoretically, unlimited. Really? Yeah. Why would I lie to you? This. Okay, let's not beat around the bush. For the time being, I don't know what you can exchange with me. Anyway, I don't need anything. It's just now. Who knows what will happen in the future. Now I agree to make this deal with you. First, your Thunder Eagle Kingdom supports too many people. Second, it's also out of our friendship. Let's talk about the future in the future. Su Lin smiled. This faint smile already contained too many things. Lei Tao immediately reacted, nodded solemnly and said, don't worry, Su Lin, you are my good friend forever. If there is anything in the future, I will do my best to help you. Ha ha ha. Su Lin laughed. His purpose was also this. At least, making a friend is not bad. And such a powerful ally. Like Su Lin, he didn't intend to accommodate too many people. If there is any salvation organization that he likes, he will help it if he can. But, you know, although it can be produced, it is limited after all. I can only give you this number. Su Lin stretched out a finger. 100 kilograms. Lei Tao swallowed his saliva. According to the calculation, 100 kilograms of food is enough for them to eat for half a week, which is not bad. It's too small. Su Lin stood up and patted Lei Tao on the shoulder. It's too small. It's 1000 kilograms. 1000 kilograms? Lei Tao stood up in surprise. Well, once a week, as long as I'm here, you can come and get it. Chapter 124. Brilliant light at full capacity. 1000 pounds. 1 week. The Thunder Eagle Kingdom has hundreds of people to feed. This number is enough. After being surprised for a moment, Lei Tao came back to his senses, and even his eyes were a little red. He was excited, and his legs softened. Su Lin hurried forward and grabbed Lei Tao. What are you doing? Su Lin whispered, your men are here. You are the king, the overlord of a region. Don't do this. Yeah. Lei Tao nodded. Finally reacted. If you want to kneel down and apologize to Su Lin, you can't do it here. At least you have to do it in a place where no one else can see you. Thanks, brother, Lei Tao said sincerely. On the one hand, he thanked Su Lin for his generous move. On the other hand, it was because Su Lin protected his face everywhere. Say these. As I said, treat the people below well. Yeah. You don't need to tell me this. They followed me. Although they certainly didn't follow you well, I will never treat them badly. If I have a bite to eat, they will definitely have one too. Su Lin smiled and nodded. Then you can do it yourself. Send someone to pick it up tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I won't send it over. Ha ha ha. That's for sure. How can I bother you? At this time, Yan Wu on the side was looking at Su Lin eagerly. That, Su Lin, just stop. Your flames can burn away the pollution, so you don't need me to provide you with anything. It's different. Yan Wu smiled bitterly. What's the difference? Su Lin rolled his eyes. The Thunder Eagle Kingdom is different from the Vulcan Fortress. Lei Tao, although he seems to be very strict with his subordinates and has a domineering attitude of being the only one who is supreme, but in the face of major issues, he is very reasonable. Rewards and punishments are clear. And Yan Wu? Just a second-rate guy who happened to get superpowers. From his self-proclaimed leader and his unreasonable arrogance to his subordinates, you can know that this person will not be able to achieve great things. Su Lin's actions can be regarded as an investment. Since you want to invest, you have to have a good vision. Only when the strong join forces can you accomplish great things. This is the case for Lei Tao. What about Liang Crossing's human glory? Su Lin has planned a way of cooperation. Food and water resources, all included. For Liang Crossing, Su Lin will not be so hesitant to give a fixed number of resources. No matter what kind of monster human glory will grow into, Su Lin will cover it all. But Yan Wu didn't dare to say anything else. After all, he came to cause trouble like that before. When he faced Su Lin again, he didn't have much confidence. After all, everything was self-inflicted. The goal was achieved. Lei Tao was in a good mood. But Su Lin also poured cold water on him at this time. This is the maximum amount of supplies I can provide. Sometimes it will be less, and there is nothing I can do about it. Speaking of this, Lei Tao, you should understand, right? Su Lin looked at Lei Tao with a smile. Lei Tao nodded immediately. I understand. The next thing is my business. Su Lin's meaning is very simple. With Lei Tao's personality, he must be thinking about ruling the world. There are many things, to capture cities and rob supplies. At that time, if the supplies are too few, Su Lin will not help him clean up his ass. Okay, if you don't mind, you can go upstairs and downstairs and walk around. Then we won't be polite. Yeah, Su Lin nodded. In fact, he was already very happy. There was no other way. The brilliant light in the full state was enough to make Su Lin crazy. 1 minute, 100 sunshine points were credited to the account. It has been 2 hours just now. A full 12,000 sunshine points. 12,000 sunshine points. An unprecedented number. System. Plants vs. Zombies level. Farm LV19. Plants. Sunflower X35. Pea shooter X3. Sunshine points. 19,810. Planting land. 40 defense value. 500 over 500. Experience value. 640 over 1900. Ability. Extraction. Gold coin upgrade. Unlocked plants. Sunflower. Pea shooter. Vertical fruit. Potato mine. Cabbage shooter. Frozen lettuce. Torch stump. Charm mushroom. Kiwi. Boomerang shooter. Vegetable question. Energy flower. Fire dragon grass. Cherry bomb. Steel spike. Electric green tea. Corn pitcher. Mistletoe ice fairy. Cactus. Unlocked blueprints. Gold coins. 3201. Plant advancement. Pea shooter. Level 3. Cabbage shooter. Level 3. Sunflower. Level 2. Kiwi. Level 2. Nuts. Level 3. Frozen lettuce. Level 3. Vegetable question. Level 2. Potato mine. Level 3. Fire dragon grass. Level 3. Cherry bomb. Level 3. Steel ground spike. Level 3. Electric green tea. Level 3. Brilliant light. LV2. Adding the previous ones, there are nearly 20,000 sunlight points in total. For Su Lin, the importance of sunlight points is beyond words. Not only can plants be advanced to obtain stronger plants, but also plants can be planted continuously. If you want to supply the food resources needed by the Thunder Eagle Kingdom, 1000 catties a week, then Su Lin has to plant continuously. But planting plants requires sunlight points. A lot of sunlight points are needed. Not to mention, planting plants can also gain experience points. Although the experience points are very few, they add up. Su Lin has a hunch. If you want to gather so many food resources, I'm afraid you can upgrade again. Even when Lei Tao and the others thought it was getting late and were ready to leave, Su Lin still showed a look of reluctance to leave. Su Lin, if you really don't want me to leave, why don't you go to my place? Lei Tao smiled. Forget it, you should leave quickly. Su Lin rolled his eyes wildly. What do you mean by reluctant to leave? Su Lin just couldn't bear to leave the brilliant light in the full state. Yue Tao frowned. He was confused and just wanted to know why Su Lin showed such reluctance to leave just now. Now he was extremely disgusted and was playing tricks on himself. Okay, the mountains and rivers will turn and we will meet again later. Yeah. Lei Tao nodded, and when he left, he also said very solemnly, "Thank you, I won't say more. If you need any help in the future, just let me know." "Yeah, I know." Su Lin nodded and watched the people of the Thunder Eagle Kingdom leave. As for Yan Wu, he will return to his Vulcan fortress after a while. With the departure of the personnel, now radiant light has become 15 minutes, and 100 sunlight points are obtained. However, it is enough. Now Su Lin has nearly 40,000 sunlight points. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.